Naylor is a guy that doesn't get cheated, can bring some pop, hit, 30-something home runs a year ago with Cleveland. So that, to me, is the most important thing, is that the Mariners went out and got a legitimate bat, one of the biggest names available at the deadline, a name that we have been talking about, it seems like forever, dating back to last offseason as a guy who could potentially end up in Seattle. He's here now, and you've set yourself up nicely for maybe a finishing move or two here over the next 6 days before the trade deadline hits on July 31st. But really great start and really important piece the Mariners added in Josh Naylor yesterday. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, and I think a lot of people are kind of worried, like, what is it that you're going to give up for any of these names that are available? We've talked a lot about Harry Ford being in trade talks. We've talked a lot about, do you involve Colt Emerson? Do you involve Las Montez?
You're talking,
do you
like,
involve
top three prospects.
Celestin? Yeah. How do you manage all these great talents that you have in your farm system in order to go out and get somebody like Josh Naylor, who's on an expiring deal, who's going to be a free agent at the end of the season? Well, you didn't have to give up a lot. Brandon Garcia, who made 2 appearances for the Mariners within the last week, neither appearance went great for him, but obviously is a toolsy guy, toolsy lefty, who throws 98. Those don't grow on trees. Like that's a lot of talent you gave up in him, but I don't think a lot was expected of Garcia this season. I think the Mariners were kind of hoping, hey, maybe he hits, and all of a sudden you've got a nice lefty arm out of your bullpen you can use down the stretch. You didn't see it in the 2 games that were that he was used in. Ashton Izzy, the other pitcher in this deal, has really struggled this season in Everett, but people do like his fastball, so he's projectable. He still has, some tools that the Diamondbacks saw appealing in that trade, but neither one of them were top 10 prospects in this system. I believe Garcia was the highest rated at 13th, which I'm okay with that. I'm okay with dealing your 13th, and I think Izzy was like 17th or 18th in the system. That's something that probably will not hurt you this season. Who knows what they develop into years down the road, but
none of my business right now.
Right.
That's simply not my business.
2026 and 2027, Curtis and Stacy, they're going to worry about that when they get there.
Yeah.
2025, Curtis and Stacy, today, Curtis and Stacy.
We are in a different world.
Brandon Garcia, who?
Yeah.
Ashton Izzy, who?
Yeah, exactly.
We got Josh Naylor here.
Yeah, I don't know them.
Exactly. But that is the second thing. And the third thing, I think this was the most concern, or the most, like, biggest question coming from the trade last night is, does this take you out of the running for Geno Suarez?
Right.
Because Naylor was viewed as like the second biggest bat available at the deadline, Suarez being the number one. And it doesn't. By all accounts, this is not a white flag on any sort of Geno Suarez negotiation. You saw Shannon Drayer tweet that the Mariners are still very much in on Suarez. Adam Jude was there. You saw a few other national reporters. I think Hector Gomez of ESPN was one that said, yeah, these two sides are still hammering things out, and the Mariners would very much love to have Geno Suarez return to Seattle. So all of the concerns that came that came down to, the Suarez trade, like, what would that happen or not? I don't think you need to be concerned yet until, like, we see any kind of movement there. So all in all, I mean, there is very little to dislike about this addition of Josh Naylor, and I'm really excited to see what he does in this lineup starting tonight when he joins the team in Anaheim.
I am, okay, I'll say this. My single biggest question following this, and I know because I texted it to you guys, is, and I quote your final one, I wonder what this means for Geno. Then you immediately, as you said in your third takeaway here, were able to find some early reports saying, hey, the Mariners are not only by no means out of the Geno Suarez pursuit, but are one of the top pursuers of Geno Suarez. Great. I have a new top question now. My top question now is, okay, great. I've been championing going to get Geno Suarez and going to get the top 2 bats, and why wouldn't you do this? And yet Ryan Roland-Smith joined us yesterday, and he made me a little bit nervous. Ryan Roland-Smith, a pitcher who loves pitchers, so I'll give him that, but also a pitcher making some great points. You can win in the postseason with slugging. You must win in the postseason with slugging, but you also desperately need pitching to actually be an impactful team in the postseason. And a great recent example would be the Rangers, who we kind of tell the story of the Rangers World Series win by virtue of the bats that they added in free agency, those big contracts that they doled out, because it's just nice to be able to talk about like really getting after it with money. they ended up winning a World Series, not just from those guys being there, but also because their pitching decided to suddenly have some of their best starts, right? Like that's how they ultimately made their way through as a wild card and made it to a World Series and won it.
Yeah, one of their big additions at the trade deadline that year was Max Scherzer, who started 8 games for them, pitched 45 innings, went 4-2 for them down the stretch. You also had Jordan Montgomery pitch a lot of big innings for them down the stretch as well. He pitched 11 games for the Rangers. Yeah, so, I mean...
So what I'm saying is, if they're in on another bat, they do need it. You've put yourself in this position where you do need offense. You do need a third baseman. You do need to upgrade there. However... does that take them out of the running for adding to pitching? Has pitching to you become much more of a priority than we actually make it seem?
I think it needs to be a huge priority for this team. I would, in a perfect world, you add both another bat and another starting pitcher to what you've got here, because honestly, I don't trust Bryce Miller to come back and be what Bryce Miller was in 24 and 23. Logan Evans, I mean, he hasn't really gotten deep into any ball games since he had that 8-inning start a few months ago. Last night he gives you the 5. A couple of starts in a row, he's gone just 4 innings, and that taxes your bullpen. You look at what the Mariners had to do last night to eat up the final 4 innings of the game. They used 5 relievers to start this road trip, and they don't have a day off for a while. So it's going to be tough for the Mariners bullpen to get healthy, get days off if your starting pitching is not getting you deeper into ball games. I think starting pitching would be a very important thing to look at heading down the season's final couple of months. And look, I mean, I don't think it's an admittance that your starting pitching has been a disappointment. It's just you can't take into account injuries at the start of a season. And when Kirby goes down, when Gilbert goes down, when Bryce Miller goes down, not everything is as effective as what it was a year ago. Even though Kirby and Gilbert are healthy, technically, they're still not what they were a year ago. Yeah. Gilbert gave you just, his second quality start the other day.
And it was a great one.
It was a great one.
But that's, again, his second.
He led the AL in innings pitched a year ago.
Exactly. And including prior to when he was injured, I've been sitting here going, well, maybe he's just at 70, 80%, and what if he won't be able to get there? And you've seen the velocity tick down. But this was also who he was before he got hurt. He had been kind of a little less consistent than he was the year prior. I want to I have one more question for you. I also want to open up the text line if you guys have questions to start off about this trade. We're going to stick with kind of Naylor talk for most of the first hour, get to Seahawks with Brian Nemhauser joining us at 11, then kind of bounce back and forth because we've got a lot to talk about when it comes to this Mariners team, about the trade deadline. So if you do have questions, text them now, 866-979-3776. Before we get to listener questions, and my question for you, Curtis, I wanted to get to some interesting sound. Let's go to Cut 4, Brady. This is Jim Bowden on with us the other day talking about how significant Naylor's importance can be, and that's especially true when you look at Cleveland.
We covered the Guardians last year playing the Yankees in the League Championship Series. And part of the reason we covered them is Josh Naylor was hitting 30 and driving in 100, right? And as soon as the Guardians moved on from him, where are they now? They're not even in the picture. We're not even talking about them. And they're near the bottom in every offensive category. And so that's what you need. And you put them in there. Everyone around them gets better.
I love this because he does not have the gaudy home run totals. I mean, he did last year 31. Great. Fantastic. He had 3 consecutive seasons, 2017, 31. I know he's only been with Arizona for half a season, but that 11 home run total, I think people, when they think of slugger, generally expect that to be higher. This is an incredibly impactful bat and can be an impactful bat. And I like hearing from people saying you got to broaden the context when you're analyzing who Naylor can be for a lineup. It's not just gaudy home run numbers.
Right, yeah. He is a much more well-rounded hitter than just hitting home runs. I wouldn't classify him as a 3 true outcome guy at all. He seems to be hitting a much more varied style than just, strikeout, home run, walk. has 19 doubles on the season, 102 hits. And I think a key difference between this acquisition of Naylor and what we've seen the Mariners do in addressing first base during the regular season in the past is they went out and got the grizzled veteran, the guy who's like pushing 40 years old, in Carlos Santana and Justin Turner. And like those guys were great clubhouse guys and contributed on the field. But I feel like Naylor lifts your ceiling more than either of those two guys did. Those two guys were kind of brought in as like, yeah, we'll give our first baseman a day off or two here or there, put this guy in the lineup. You know, it's a good bat off the bench. Whereas Naylor, like, he's expected to.
He's not coming out of the lineup.
No, he is going to be in the middle of your order every single day for the remainder of the season, which I think is really, really fun and really fascinating. And I am excited to watch how this lineup kind of looks in the next few days, and I'm most excited to see what this does for the other guys in the lineup. I'm most excited to see what this does for Cal when you've got more protection behind you. Like, Randy has benefited greatly hitting behind Cal, and I kind of wonder if Randy might benefit even more with Naylor behind him. And it's continuous throughout the lineup. So all in all, I cannot give more thumbs up than the two that I have for this trade.
I'll add two more. I've got some listener questions here. The most popular question was also my next question, so two birds, one stone here. Let's go with the 253. A couple other folks sent in the same one, though. Who's on the losing end of this roster move? Now, this listener wants to know if they also get Suarez, who's on the losing end of that move. So if you want to answer that, go ahead. But let's start with Naylor. Who's on the losing end of the Naylor acquisition?
Yeah, I mean,
there are a couple options, to be clear, so we don't know yet. The Mariners have a few options here.
There are. You kind of wonder, does Ben Williamson get sent down? I don't think he does. I think his defense right now at third base, and you just don't have another option at third base. I think he stays up.
And you're talking with Geno right now.
Yeah, if there's a Geno acquisition.
And then we'll get to Naylor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I think if Geno gets traded here, I think Williamson gets demoted to AAA. I think that is just an unfortunate reality for Ben Williamson, not to discredit what he has done for this team this year, and his defense has been incredibly valuable, but Geno is Geno. He's got 36 home runs. He's going to be, challenging 50 home runs this season. Like, that's a bat you have to have in your lineup, and you take the trade-off with, worse defense. And it's not like Geno's a horrible fielder or anything like that, but I think you would definitely have to create room for him, and it would be probably Ben Williamson on the losing end of that roster move. But
on the other end with first, are you looking at like a Canzone Rayleigh? Like, who's the odd one out, especially for a lefty bat?
I mean, Canzone has definitely hit better than Rayleigh this season, but I think more was expected of Rayleigh this season, and he gives you the versatility of being a first baseman and an outfielder.
Who can play all three outfield spots.
Right, and he's been dealing with that oblique injury. I don't know if Rayleigh gets DFA'd. I think potentially the corresponding move could be something with, like, Donovan Solano or, Dylan Moore. Boy, he has been playing some rough baseball as of late. Only has, 2 hits since May 27th, one of them being a home run. I don't know how much more you can have that bat in your lineup right now when he's just simply not hitting. He's hitting worse than a pitcher would in that spot. So there are a few options you could potentially look at in terms of who gets sent down with this Naylor move. Solano has played better as of late, but I don't know if he's played well enough to justify continuing on the roster when Naylor is here. So there's always that option too, but it's a tricky situation. It's a very tricky situation because there's a number of ways the Mariners can go. And maybe that says kind of where this Mariners lineup is when you've got so many guys who you could justify sending down, and that's not a good spot to be in on July 25th. But the good thing is that you made a move to fortify things and make sure that there are more big league ready hitters helping you out here.
A couple questions. I'm also combining a few more questions. The second most popular question is about lineup construction. We obviously don't have today's lineup for a 6:38 p.m. start.
We're not going to get it for
around
a few hours,
around 2-something p.m. However, we can guess, and more importantly, we can talk about kind of where Naylor fits. One person just wanted to know, hey, where do you think he's going to be? Like, do we know yet? Where do you think he'll be? Another person wants to know how it might affect Julio. Joseph in the 360 has been kind of campaigning for, like, I think Julio should be later in the lineup. Does Naylor mean he's moving later? Do you keep Julio at second? What do you do?
I think Julio is in a good place in the order right now, batting second. We saw it last night with the home run. He's actually played really well away from Seattle this year, and I don't think they want to touch him in that order. And Julio actually sounded excited for Naylor to join the team and cut number 1 last night postgame. He talked about how he really has never gotten a chance to speak with Naylor because of how intense the guy is.
I mean, obviously, like, he's a really good player, you know, like, there's no, like, there is no other way around it, you know, like, he's a really good player, like, he has a really good defense, and I think, like, you know, what he brings to the table definitely can help the team win and, like, you know, get to where we want to get to. And, you know, I'm very excited to actually talk to him a little bit more. Obviously, every time he plays, he's always locked in, which is really good, you know, to add that to the team, and I'm very excited and looking forward to seeing him.
So, I mean, the fact that Naylor is just so locked in at all times, and Julio's never really been able to, like, crack that before, it'll be interesting to see how he assimilates to this clubhouse. I imagine he'll do well, because you look at some of those videos of him with Cleveland, and that clubhouse loved going to battle with Josh Naylor. And we've got Guardians play-by-play man Matt Underwood coming up in about 12 minutes from now at 10:30, and we'll kind of talk to him about Naylor's impact on that Cleveland clubhouse over the years. So that'll be fun to chat about.
The Seattle Seahawks preseason home opener is August 7th, and we want to send one of you and 3 friends, or maybe it's you and 3 family members. You know, I just want to open
3
up
strangers you meet in the landing parking lot.
I know the read is what it is, but I just want to open it up to lots of variations of people that you can bring. So you and 3 other people to watch the Seahawks take on the Raiders in person. All you need to do is open the Seattle Sports app and click the Win tab to find out how. If you don't already have the app, you should. Text the word app, APP, to 866-979-3776, and we'll send you a link to download it. Enter daily to increase your chances to win. This contest runs through Monday, July 28th. Let's get to headline rewrites.
Extra, extra, read all about it.
Headline rewrites.
We must make headlines.
The real story behind the headlines in today's news with Bump and Stacy.
Mariners legend Ichiro will be inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame on Sunday. What's the real headline?
And I'm going to induct my fist into the face of whoever didn't vote for
That's
him.
right. That's right.
Still what I want to know. Still what I want to know.
One
And if I could
person.
combine it, I would want to know. Here's my thing. Do you think that 3 who didn't vote for Griffey and the 1 who didn't vote for Ichiro are 4 people or 3?
I think it's 3.
Oh, I think it's 3, and we got a
I think that
problematic
Venn
voter.
diagram
Yep.
overlaps.
I think there's an overlap.
I think it's also the same person that didn't vote for Derek Jeter, which I'm fine with that person not voting for Derek Jeter.
It does make it really tricky
Yeah.
because the constant theme is going to be like, oh, some kind of Yankees guy. But it's
Yeah.
like, well, hang on a minute.
I still can't understand why Mariano Rivera is the only unanimous person voted in. Like, Ken Griffey Jr. wasn't even unanimously
Wild.
voted in. Ichiro missing the 1 vote, gets 3,000 hits, and people are like, oh, he was just a singles merchant. Like, he was not somebody that was hitting the ball. But it's like,
Can you imagine being mad at someone for hitting the ball?
right,
getting on
exactly. Well, and think about, like, when he got his start in the majors, he was 27 years old, which is when guys are entering their prime. And from age 27 to 43, 44, still managed to pick up 3,000 hits in addition to the 1,300 he had over in Japan. Like, to me, he's one of the best pure hitters of all time and should be remembered as such. And that's in addition to being a demon on the base paths and also having a cannon for a right arm. Had so many jaw-dropping plays in his career. A Mariners icon. And third time now, somebody's going in with a Mariners hat on. That's really cool. You've got Griffey, you've got Edgar, now you've got Ichiro, and it's going to be fun celebrating him when they get back after this road trip for that Ichiro Hall of Fame weekend coming up in August.
What's next?
Headline rewrites.
The Mariners used 3 home runs from Julio, Randy Arozarena, and Jorge Polanco to take the series opener from the Angels 4-2. What's the real headline?
We were hoping for 40, but we'll take 3 for the price of 1.
I'm down with that.
Yeah. Look, Cal can wait on getting his 40th if it means we've got 3 bombs from Julio, Randy, and Jorge.
Yeah, those 3 guys are playing some good baseball right now, especially swinging the bat well, and that adds a lot of punch to this lineup when those 3 guys are going. Julio, especially on the road, 4th straight road game with a home run. He's up to 15 now. Randy with his, 19th home run of the season. Polanco with number 16 last night. Love to see all 3 of those guys get going and just help out this lineup, help out Cal. And when the Mariners fell down 1-0 last night against the Angels, it was kind of a bummer, especially because of how Wednesday's game went when it was 10-2. I was like, uh-oh. Are they really going to, get smoked tonight after the great start to the day with the Naylor trade? But no. Julio, Randy, they combined for the 3 runs in the 5th, and then Polanco adding the insurance run. You love to see it, and hopefully they can get a series win here against the Angels. Can't get there without winning that second game. So you got Brian Wu tonight. I think that's a good spot for them.
What's next?
Headline rewrites.
The Mariners actually gained ground on the Astros after Houston lost to the A's on Thursday. What's the real headline?
Can too much good happen in one day? I got to be honest.
You kind of wonder.
The Mariners winning, acquiring Naylor, a name we all know and one we were rooting to acquire, and also the Astros losing. I don't know if it's the cynical part of me, but I'm kind of waiting for the other shoe to drop. Like, I'm looking around going, okay, what's it going to be? Am I going to get an offender bender? Like, what?
Yeah.
Where's the other thing happening here?
Well,
maybe good things can just happen this week.
Yeah, my car battery had a hard time starting this morning.
Oh,
so
that might be the cause. Did anyone else find out? Like, did anyone else get charged for this Mariners karma? I need to know. It wasn't me so far, but, like, you never know. I could spill coffee on myself, break my phone. Like, ideally, it doesn't come from the Mariners, but maybe someone else has kind of paid the karma for, like, you know what? Stacy, now that you mention it, my car did stall earlier today, so that was for Naylor. I paid it to the universe.
If me getting sweaty this morning while trying to leave the house,
that's what it is.
Pulling my wife's car over to where my car is and getting the cables out, and
that's what it was.
Not waking anybody up either. That was great, but
the Seattle baseball gods require a payment.
They do,
and we don't always know what it looks like.
And if that was it, then
great.
Then
that was a bargain.
I'm just hoping. Knock on wood here. Nothing else bad happens.
360 said wife had a flat tire on the way to work.
Yeah.
Thank her.
Yeah.
Thank you for your service. Like, that was, I had to change a tire at 6:30. You might have been part of it, 360.
I think so.
And I appreciate that contribution. You know what I mean? We can all chip in little pieces. We can chip in some little inconveniences today. If you have one today, just chalk it up to, this was my little inconvenience. I'm chipping it in for some good Mariners vibes this week. So it's just a payment. We're going to learn more about the newest Mariner with Guardians broadcaster Matt Underwood next.
The Mariners trade for one of the biggest names available.
Making a statement with just 6 days till the trade deadline. We're all in.
Josh Naylor is now a Seattle Mariner, and they do it without giving up a top 10 prospect. You get a player that fits in almost every way. I love that they got out there and beat everybody to the punch.
What else do the Mariners have up their sleeve?
Is it enough? I don't know.
Stay plugged in as the Mariners approach the trade deadline with Seattle Sports.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. That's cars with a K to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's carsforkids.org.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed. which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here. Based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
All right, Takis fans. Wendy's knows you love your Takis Fuego chips. So we thought, why not make a Takis Fuego meal with a Takis Fuego chicken sandwich with spicy chicken topped with crushed Takis Fuego chips and creamy corn spread. Plus, it comes with Fuego fries inspired by Takis and a bag of Takis Fuego chips. If we had any more heat, we might start an actual... I told him this would happen. For an intense new take on Takis chips, gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. Includes 1 ounce Takis Fuego chips while supplies last. Takis and Fuego trademarks are used under license.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-486-9600. That's 800-486-9600.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed cracks in your drywall, chimney, or exterior walls? I hope not, because if you have, they could be indications that you've got a much bigger problem with your foundation. That's where Groundworks comes in. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to stabilize your foundation. Schedule your free inspection at groundworks.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Headed outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nellie on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on SeattleSports.com.
Dave Wyman joined by a very special guest, Dr. Daniel Landis. He's on the Swedish CyberKnife team treating prostate cancer and accepting new patients. Dr. Landis, what could patients expect during CyberKnife treatment?
So the CyberKnife treatment's an outpatient procedure. Essentially, it's a 5-day treatment, about 30 minutes per day. You walk in, you walk out. You essentially don't feel anything at all during treatment. Many patients still work full-time while they're having treatment.
That's incredible. Where are your patients from?
We see patients from all over, patients from out of state, Alaska, Idaho, from all over the world, honestly, since it's such a short treatment.
How can someone get a hold of you?
Yeah, I would encourage patients to reach out to us directly. We'd be happy to schedule a consultation.
Thank you, Dr. Landis and the team at Swedish CyberKnife for the wonderful work they do. And remember, you don't need a physician's referral. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish CyberKnife. Go to swedish.org/cyberknifeprostate. That's swedish.org/cyberknifeprostate.
What's the biggest mistake you can make when selling your home? Settling for less money. That never happens with Orchard. Disappointing offers can wear you down, causing you to settle for thousands less. You don't have to settle when you sell with Orchard. Orchard reinvented the real estate industry by guaranteeing your home sale and helping you sell on the market for top dollar. First, Orchard gives you cash up front so you can buy and move into your new home first, on your timeline. No waiting, no showings, no double moves. Then once you're all settled in, your Orchard agent helps sell your home on market for top dollar. Here's what one Orchard customer said. I never could have sold without Orchard. I made way more than I expected, and it couldn't have been easier. With Orchard, you never have to settle for less. Buy before you sell and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Curious how much your home is worth? Visit Orchard.com to get your free home valuation. That's Orchard.com. Orchard.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
We got a bit of help here as we learn more about the newest Mariner. Guardians broadcaster Matt Underwood joining us on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. Matt, how's it going?
It's going great. Thank you for having me.
We're happy to have you. And it's honestly so helpful for us because while I've been of Naylor, and obviously you're keeping an even closer eye leading up to the trade deadline, you know a ton. And so I'm very curious about how he's going to fit here in Seattle. I'll start with just kind of what he meant to Cleveland. Is it something where, we had Jim Bowden talking about you could feel his departure. Is it something where with Cleveland you could feel the absence of Naylor?
I think with Josh, I wouldn't say he's a big personality. I think if you watch highlights and you've seen some of his emotion that he wears on his sleeve when he plays the game, you might think that he's this big personality that eats up all the scenery, as they say in Hollywood. But really, he's pretty low-key. It's just that Josh, in the heat of the moment, when the game's on the line, and when he delivers, he has so much emotion that it explodes. It just spills out. And I think it stands out because baseball is such an understated game, and we're seeing more guys, not afraid to show their emotions nowadays. But Josh, I will never forget 3 years ago, we're in Chicago, and you probably know the story. If you don't, we go into the ninth inning down 8-2, down 6 runs in the ninth inning. They get a couple of runs. He comes up, bases juiced, and hits a grand slam to tie it. And then 2 innings later in the 11th, he hits a 3-run homer to eventually give Cleveland the win. And there had been this group of fans behind the dugout in Chicago that were just killing him the whole game. Every time he stepped to the on-deck circle, they were jeering him. They were making fun of his weight. They were just all over him. And when he came around home plate after the grand slam and after the 3-run homer, he was screaming at those people, just full on, hair flying, nostrils flared. And I remember the quote because he was saying, "Give me all that smoke. I want all that smoke." And his teammates, I think, they fed off that emotion, that energy, because he brings that to the game. And so you're getting a fiery competitor and a guy who's not interested in personal numbers, a guy who shows up with one job on his mind, and that's to win that game.
How impressed are you with his approach to the plate? Because in today's game, obviously strikeouts are not as, it's just a part of the game. Guys are going to strike out 150, 200 times in a season. He does not strike out that much. He is a guy that only has 49 to this point in the season. Where does that approach come from with him where it's just kind of like a throwback player in a sense?
It is, but there's, in the modern game, there's a fine line that I think Josh tries to walk, which is you don't want to make easy outs either. You want to keep the pressure on the pitcher, and so you're hunting pitches in the strike zone that you can do damage with. And I think, for Josh, I don't think he necessarily goes up there with the mindset of, I don't want to strike out. He's trying to impact the ball every time he goes up there, but he's just got such a good eye at the plate, and he is such a good hitter that you're going to see a guy that hits for high average, but he can also, when he gets his pitch in the zone where he can do damage, he can take you out of the yard with the best of them. I'm going back to that 22 story. That happened in May in Chicago. He had 2 home runs before that game. He hit 2 in that game and finished the season with 20. And then he just kept getting better and better. And last year, obviously, was a career year for him. Homers, runs batted in. He was a key force in the middle of the lineup batting behind Jose Ramirez. And he took an advantage of every situation where teams tried to maybe work around Jose, maybe go at Josh, and they found out quickly that was a mistake. So, he's not up there wailing away and swinging himself into circles. But I think he would probably tell you, he would maybe trade a couple of strikeouts for, better contact at times too. Because, no hitter wants to make an easy out.
This may be kind of related to the end of your answer, but were there any, I don't want to say knocks on Naylor. He's such a good hitter, and it's getting him is so massive for this lineup. But was there maybe kind of a consistent thing, in Cleveland where it was like, oh yeah, you got to kind of account for this from Josh?
No, I think, seriously, if you want to get right down to the nuts and bolts of it, I think the only reason he's not in the Cleveland uniform today is that, our front office guys are very good at their jobs. And I think they were balancing the budget with the future budget and looking at what he could probably command, not only in arbitration, but in another year of free agency. And I think they felt like the best opportunity they had to get something of real value in return was to move him when they did. And look, do we miss Josh Naylor in the lineup? I'm not speaking for the organization, but hell yes. That's, as I said, when 30 and 100 walks out the door with a pretty high average to go with it, that's not easy to replace. And they didn't have anybody that was ready to just step right in as a young player and take the reins. So we're still feeling the effects of his loss. However, Slade Ciccone, who came from Arizona in that trade, has done a heck of a job in his first year in the rotation, and he looks like he could be a really good long-term fit. So I understand at the end of the day why they made the move and when they made the move, but I don't think there's any doubt that this team still misses Josh Naylor's presence and his bat in the middle of their lineup.
Matt, about a week before the All-Star break, it looked like Cleveland was headed towards being sellers. They were 40-48 back on July 6th, but since then, you guys have rattled off a nice little run here, digging yourselves back out to 500 at 51-51. Where do you think things stand kind of right now with the Guardians this close to the deadline?
Well, it's interesting because I don't know that where they're at is going to impact them as far as the deadline is concerned. It's not like this is a team that's carrying a lot of expiring big fat contracts that maybe they're looking to offload. And at the same time, it's not like they're one big piece away from making a big push. So I don't anticipate them being a big player at the trading deadline. Now, having said that, I mean, who knows? You never know when somebody's going to call and knock your socks off with a great offer. So certainly anything could happen. But I think, when you lose 10 in a row and you don't score when you're doing it, you look bad. And that's where they were at. They looked bad. They looked lethargic because they weren't scoring. And then to lose 10 in a row and immediately turn around and win 11 out of the next 13 is just incredible. But that's what they did. And I think for Cleveland, the fact that they have one of the easiest, if not the easiest, schedule the rest of the way in terms of opponents and winning percentage, there's an opportunity for them to still hang around, be in the wild card hunt. So if Chris Antonetti and Mike Chernoff, if they see an opportunity to make this club better, to give them a chance, a fighting chance that maybe the wild card are still running down Detroit in the division, I think they'll take that shot.
He's Guardians broadcaster Matt Underwood. Matt, we appreciate your time. You were such a great resource for us to be able to reach out and ask some of these last-minute questions about Josh. We're so grateful. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Have a great time. You're going to love Josh Naylor. Believe me. The funny thing about Josh is he'll give you that great emotion on the field, and then when you interview him, he's so understated you can barely hear him. He's a classic. He's a classic. You're going to love him.
Can't wait to see it. Thanks, Matt.
Thanks, Matt.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Coming up, the Seahawks have something they haven't had in a long time. That's next.
The Mariners go big.
Well, look at the Mariners striking first. How about that?
The Mariners trade for one of the biggest names available.
Welcome to Seattle, Josh Naylor.
Naylor swings and crushes one. Way back and out of here.
I love the deal. He's got a 360 on base right now. He can do everything. He's just a hitter.
What else do the Mariners have up their sleeve? The home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports has you covered.
Obviously, still need relief pitching.
On 710 and the Seattle Sports YouTube page.
When your outside matches how you feel on the inside, that's kindness. And so I think that is the one thing that the Lee Johnson Auto family encourages us, is to be really authentic and really be intentional in how we treat our customers and how we treat each other.
To have a good company, have a good culture, have a good crew that takes care of your customer base, you have to take care of your crew. You can't have miserable people and expect them to give a customer a good experience.
Walking in here, meeting some of the employees already before I was even hired on, welcoming me in, gave me a good indication what this company was all about. So if I were to make an hour and a half drive here and to have fun here for 8 to 9 hours a day versus if it's the other way around, then I'll take it.
It's not a script. It's a belief. The LJ Way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Hey, it's Mike Salk here, and we've been talking about this. Luxury awaits at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. You can book now for an unforgettable summer experience because the hotel opens up August 8th. Bookings are open at snocasino.com starting on August 8th. The expanded non-gaming floor, the destination spa, the big new entertainment space and convention center, new restaurants as well. They're combining effortless style with the utmost in relaxation. Go to snocasino.com for details. Seattle's closest, now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
Old windows cost you money and security. Lake Washington Windows and Doors installs energy-efficient, high-security windows that lower your bills and increase protection. With leak armor installation and lifetime warranties, you're protected for life. Choose LakeWashingtonWindows.com today.
The biggest scuba sale in America ends tomorrow night at Underwater Sports in North Seattle. Incredible savings once each year for just one weekend. Don't miss the biggest scuba sale in America. Underwater Sports, 107th and Aurora Avenue North.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always focus on what's best for our clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Okay, but you still sell commission-based products, right?
No, because we believe that's a conflict of interest. We prioritize service over sales goals.
So, then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee that's a percentage of our clients' portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, we're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Bonneville International radio station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contests are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on seattlesports.com or in person at the station during regular business hours.
The home of the Mariners.
It is gone! Cal Raleigh, 2-run home run!
Hear every pitch on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Hey, it's Dr. Coogan from Eastside Weight Loss Clinic. We've been fortunate to work with over 4,000 local people and help them hit some pretty amazing weight loss goals. I'm joined by two of them right now, Mike Salk and Ryan Rowland-Smith. Ryan, every time I see you on TV, I'm even more proud of all you've accomplished on the plan.
I'm so happy. For years, I've been trying to find a consistent plan that delivered results with my busy family and work schedule. Eastside Weight Loss Clinic not only delivered, but it was an absolute breeze. It was so enjoyable because the plan wasn't hard. I was able to eat delicious food, and I literally lost weight every single day.
Eastside Weight Loss Clinic works so well for me. I'm happy to hear more people are using it to lose weight and prioritize their health as well. It's an awesome plan. Schedule a free 50-minute consultation today. Go to eastsideweightlossclinic.com.
No surgery, no exercise, no packaged meals, no drugs or injections. Just delicious food and a plan that works. Schedule a free 15-minute consultation today at eastsideweightlossclinic.com.
Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
From whiplash to herniated discs, there are a few car accident injuries we've all heard of. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains that even the most common injuries differ from one another.
Pre-existing conditions, health history, beginning of treatment. There are hundreds of factors that make every person and every injury unique. While these variables aid medical treatment, the strongest case recoveries must also take them into account.
Could you explain a little bit more?
Our team at Pendergast Law is obsessed with turning over every stone to differentiate each case. This requires thorough investigation, diligent listening, and relentless research. We never pursue cases with a one-size-fits-all approach. We built our success by treating every injury and every case with the individualized attention our clients need and deserve.
Pendergast Law's individualized approach to even the most common injuries makes the difference in case outcomes. It's another reason why I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
We've got some MLB trade deadline news, not Mariners related, but like tangentially related before we get to this Seahawks bit here. Curtis, do you want to bring that one up? We'll talk about it for just 1 minute because it does eliminate an option for Seattle.
No, but the Yankees did acquire a third baseman.
So.
Not Geno Suarez.
Not named Geno Suarez.
Ryan McMahon from the Rockies. He goes to the Yankees. So that's from Mark Feinsand of MLB.com. Colorado receiving 2 prospects in return. I know there was a lot of concern about Ryan McMahon potentially ending up here in Seattle, so you don't have to worry about that anymore. He just didn't profile well outside of Coors Field, which I think is the biggest question whenever you're looking at somebody from the Rockies, where it's like, how's this guy going to do? Because we were looking at guys yesterday prior to the postgame show or the pregame show and it was like Mickey Moniak was on the Rockies, has like an 860 OPS, and it's like how much is that aided by Coors Field? Sure enough, he's got an OPS over 1,000 at Coors Field this season, and on the road it's like 500. So you always got to take that into account. But yeah, Ryan McMahon not heading to the Mariners, he's going to the Rockies instead. But
framing it as the Yankees found their third baseman, and it's not the third baseman they were competing with Seattle for. I'm wondering, like, is this something where the Diamondbacks are asking way too much? The Yankees said, forget it, we're just going to do this. Maybe the Mariners have that same approach. Is it that the Mariners are offering something the Yankees knew they couldn't match? Is it? It is really
like
hard not to read the Geno angle to this. The Yankees were reportedly, by multiple outlets, aggressively pursuing Geno Suarez. Every podcast I was listening to, Foul Territory, all of them were talking. It was always leading with the Yankees are trying to get Geno. And no 35-plus home run hitter had ever been traded at the deadline. So Geno is obviously the #1 bat profile. Like, we haven't really seen that kind of guy traded before. Maybe this is good news for the Mariners.
I think this is good news for the Mariners because you look at what they have at third base and second base now in New York. Jazz Chisholm at second, Ryan McMahon at third. Like, there's nowhere for Geno unless you're going to move one of those two guys to the bench. I feel like McMahon might be the one likeliest heading to the bench just because Chisholm was an all-star this year, has played really well for the Yankees since they acquired him at last year's deadline. But I think this is a good sign for any hope that Geno Suarez ends up here in Seattle.
All right, so we will keep a close eye on this, obviously, as we inch toward the trade deadline, now just 6 days away. We've got Passan up. We've got Nightingale. Just everyone is just ready to go here. So we will let you know the second that we see anything about the Seattle Mariners. We are going to get to the Seahawks for a couple minutes here, and then we're joined by Brian Nemhauser. We've got a ton of questions about the 2 days of camp and everything we've seen so far. I'm going to start with this. I think that Sam Darnold and quarterback in general, Curtis, is always going to be the #1 thing for any team. It makes sense. It's the most important position, arguably in all of sports, and certainly the most impactful one in football, clearly. I was watching this group yesterday. Jalen Milroe had his best day of practice. Drew Lock has looked great through 2 days. He looks great throwing on the move, got a lot of zip on his passes, and I think that this offseason in general has been a great one for him. You can really see a more developed, polished Drew Lock as compared to his last stint in Seattle, where there was a more clear gap between him and Geno. There was an even more pronounced gap between Geno and Sam Howell. And I think that what the Seahawks have this year that they haven't had in a long time is quarterback depth, Curtis. And, I will add, all 32 teams in the league would love to have a top 5 starter. You've got your MVP, and then like me at the backup spot. If it meant that you'd have a top flight starter, you'll take a massive question mark.
No one knows who Buffalo's backup is. No one knows who Kansas City's backup is, or Baltimore's.
Is it Chad anymore? I don't know. I don't know who it is.
I think Chad Henne's out of the NFL. I think he's long since retired.
Is it? I don't even know.
Oh, it's Gardner Minshew.
No!
I remember seeing a picture, his headshot this year.
Good for Gardner,
He's
but
with
that's exactly the situation, frankly, most teams would love to find themselves. And it's kind of where Seattle has been. Seattle had the best years of Russell Wilson, and he had some solid backups, but there was always this feeling of, if Russ gets hurt, like most teams, your season's kind of done. I think it's interesting to re-examine the value of quarterback depth. I'd rather have an MVP as your starter here. But it is kind of cool to watch 3 guys have really solid camps who get along very well, and just kind of to re-examine the importance of depth as a weapon there.
Yeah, it's definitely foreign territory for this Seahawks team. And I kind of wonder, like, what happens if there is, another team around the league that is in need of a quarterback, let's say midway through the season. Now, you're not going to trade Jalen Milroe. You just spent a 3rd-round pick on him. He's not going anywhere. Sam Darnold got the big contract. Drew Lock would become the obvious, choice if you were to potentially have to trade one of these guys. But that's a good thing because you're going to receive probably a draft pick or 2 in return, which is something you have not been able to say about a backup quarterback here in Seattle in, like, before the Holmgren era. Like, it's been forever and ever since we have seen backup quarterbacks here in Seattle be of demand across the league. Like, I'm not saying that anybody's going to be bending over backwards to trade for Drew Lock, but, like, desperate times at the near the trade deadline would probably they probably would receive a call from a team like, hey, you guys got 3 quarterbacks here in Seattle. What would it take to land one here? And that's a way you can kind of replenish the cupboard a little bit, which you've seen teams like the Patriots especially be able to do that with guys like Matt Castle, guys like Jimmy Garoppolo, where they get thrust into this backup role and all of a sudden they're playing good in the preseason, they get their opportunity in the regular season, and then you're able to acquire, really good draft picks for guys that were never going to start for you in the first place.
Someone said, come on, Curtis, you're better than that on the Minshew miss. And this is why, Curtis, you have to follow.
I got it eventually.
You need to take a page out of my book and set the bar low so that no one's ever disappointed with you. You know what I mean?
So getting back to the Chiefs backup quarterback thing, I was at Super Bowl 54, the first one that they won against the 49ers. On media night, there was literally nobody at Chad Henne's table.
Did you go up?
I went up to him and I was like, hey, man, I remember you in Michigan. You're really good. You're really fun. Yeah. So I felt bad for him.
Was he
in that
cool? Was he
moment.
nice?
Yeah, he was a chill guy, a really nice guy. But I just remember that him sitting alone.
You asked him a
because
few
Patrick
questions?
Mahomes was
Yeah,
he was becoming Patrick Mahomes at
Why
that time.
even have the backup sit there? I mean,
It's
maybe
just a
they want to
media
get
requirement or something.
Yeah, I'd feel the same way though. I'd be like, man, I don't want to be here anymore.
Yeah, but shout out to Chad Henne for just being like, hey, thanks, man. Yeah.
Did you ask him a couple questions?
No,
I
was just like, hey, man, I
really
remember
good.
you at Michigan. You and Braylon Edwards. You guys are
You're
great.
just unbelievable.
Yeah.
Oh, that was good of you, Curtis. That was nice.
Thanks. Yeah.
We have a lot of other observations from 2 days of training camp. Day 3 for the Seahawks about to kick off. So let's bring on Hawkblogger's Ryan Nemhauser. He's got some great takeaways so far. He joins us in just a few minutes. Don't go anywhere.
He's one of the greatest.
The pitch to Ichiro.
And Sunday,
There it is, number 200, a bullet.
Ichiro takes his rightful place in baseball's Hall of Fame.
Number 258, a major league record for Ichiro. My, oh my, Ichiro!
Mariners insider Shannon Drayer delivers complete coverage from Cooperstown at SeattleSports.com and the Seattle Sports app.
Ichiro, you are unbelievable!
Summer is here and Washington Energy's BOGO 40% off sale is on now. Update and enhance your home with beautiful new windows and doors expertly installed by Washington Energy Services. Save today with one of our best deals of the year. Buy one energy efficient window, get the second at 40% off. And BOGO 40% off all entry, patio, and interior doors right now. From traditional to modern home updates and with over 65 years of award-winning installations, Washington Energy is the clear choice. Call today for a free estimate.
If you want that summer body you've always dreamed of, then this message is for you, ladies, and you men too. Get rid of extra stubborn fat and address areas of loose skin around the waistline, chin, and under the upper arms with ProSculpt, the new one-day instant permanent fat removal and skin tightening treatment. Maybe you've tried the lasers, fat freezing methods, even those new pills, but without the desired results. ProSculpt is different. It's minimally invasive, performed while fully awake, gentle, yet powerful. Designed to target the waistline, chin, neck, arms, and thighs, ProSculpt uses FDA-cleared plasma technology to deliver immediate, permanent fat-reducing and skin-tightening results, all in just one visit. If you want that summer body this summer, then you must act now. Go to ProSculpt.com today to schedule your free consultation. Get $250 off. For instant, permanent fat reduction and skin tightening, visit ProSculpt.com.
The 2025 Seahawks season is almost here. Get fitted for game days with jerseys, caps, and tees, including the 2025 training camp collection. Visit the Seahawks Pro Shop at the Landing in Renton and Lumen Field or online at Seahawks.com/Pro Shop.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit revivemenshealth.com.
1-877 Cards for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids. 1-877 Cards for Kids. Donate your card today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. That's Cars with a K to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's carsforkids.org.
This summer, the perfect night out is under the stars at LeMay, America's Car Museum drive-in movies. Enjoy classic films and make memories. Catch the Transformers on July 27th. Space is limited. Reserve now at americascarmuseum.org.
Do Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keep coming back? Tremfya, guselkumab, may help, with rapid remission achieved at 12 weeks and lasting clinical remission at 1 year. Some even saw visible improvement of their intestinal lining at 12 weeks and 1 year. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Healing is possible with Tremfya. Approximately 3 out of 10 patients were in endoscopic remission at 1 year, based on areas visualized on colonoscopy, which may not represent the deeper bowel layer or entire GI tract. Individual results may vary. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
From ESPN's Jeff Passan, about 15 minutes ago, the Yankees have found their third baseman at the deadline, and it is not Geno Suarez. The Rockies are sending Ryan McMahon to New York. Doesn't mean the Mariners are closing in on a deal for Geno. We'll be keeping an eye on updates throughout the show. In the meantime, you can expect to see new Mariner Josh Naylor in the lineup today against the Angels. First pitch at 6:38 p.m. right here on Seattle Sports.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
this is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. Joined now in studio, we're all live from Virginia Mason Athletic Center.
It's cozy
with
in here.
Hawkbloggers Brian Nemhauser. Brian, thanks for hopping on with us, man.
Happy to do it. Good to see you both.
I know you're always doing double duty. You've got obviously Hawkblogger and everything you run over there, and then you're so generous with your time with jumping on and sharing your observations. We were hoping to just tap into a few.
Let's do it.
Okay. I will start by asking you the number one question I always get.
Yeah.
And I never know how to answer it.
Okay.
So I'm throwing this your way. This is just a volley, a hot potato situation. I am constantly asked about the offensive line. Here's the problem. You and I and everyone knows it's impossible to evaluate. You don't have pads on. But from what you can see, not only kind of, you know, what's your feeling so far, even about their confidence level in it, but what are some lingering questions you have about this group that you're going to find yourself tracking throughout camp?
Yeah, I'm in, I think, a little bit of a unique position because I was in Mobile, Alabama, and I've seen Gray Zabel in pads against the best that there was to offer in the draft this year. I saw him stone every single one of those players. I saw them request him to try to beat him, and none of them could do it. And I saw him do it for multiple positions. So I think the Seahawks drafted the best offensive lineman they've grabbed in the draft in maybe a couple decades. So I think it's a while since we've seen a player like Gray Zabel. Now he's a rookie. It's hard for rookies. You know, it's a leap from the level he was playing, but I'm really confident in the kind of player that they got and the person that they got. Charles Cross already made a leap last year. I don't think there's a lot of questions. He put on 15 pounds when I talked to him of muscle. He's bigger than he was last year, and I think this outside zone is just a hand-in-glove fit for him. So that's another one I'm pretty confident in. Abe Lucas, people seem to forget about Abe Lucas. This is a guy who, by his own words, played on a flat tire last year, even when he was coming back. 38% of the pressures that came for the Seahawks offensive line came from the right tackle position before he joined. Only 20% came after he joined. So that was with a flat tire. He's in great shape. That's 3 spots. And then you got, Olu, who played last year, played well, and you've got a battle at right guard. So I think there's far fewer question marks than there were a year ago. And you've got a grizzly veteran in John Benton and Rick Dennison and that whole group that have been teaching this system for decades. And they're out there telling the guys where to be, exactly when to be. And this is really, I think, the best situated the Seahawks offensive line room and the coaching staff has been for a while. So I'm actually very bullish even before pads go on.
Do you think that is the group that could potentially outperform expectations the most on this team? I know new quarterback, you've got a new wide receiver group, but I think everybody kind of nationally has downgraded this offensive line. But you mentioned it feels a lot more stable than it's ever been.
It's funny, Curtis, is, I put a poll question out months ago. Which is going to be fixed first, the Mariners offense or the Seahawks offensive line?
Now, why do you have to do that?
And look, the Mariners offense has been pretty good this year. I know they got to add, but they're 4th, 5th in runs in the AL. They're up there, and I don't think anyone expected that. I think you're right that the offensive line, I'll put this really bold statement out there. I think by the end of the year, people are going to look at the Seahawks and say the best position group on offense is the offensive line.
Wow.
That's a bold take. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
I wanted to, you mentioned the coaching staff and the impact of that. And I remember John Schneider having an interview. It was during the John Schneider show. It was with Wyman and Bob. And he mentioned the coaching staff. And at the time, he got some flack because they had not signed Will Fries. And he was talking about how much success they've had in terms of, he's like, we've drafted well. Our guys have gotten contracts elsewhere when they aren't staying with us. We don't think we have a talent identification problem. We think we have a development problem. And even though he got some pushback for that, I thought he was also right in that, whether it's been talking with Ray Roberts or a few other guys, there are times when you go, are you, using these guys the best that you possibly can? What kind of impact do you think that coaching staff, a new scheme, Kubiak, could have, not just on the development of these guys, but is the ceiling for this team a little higher than we expect? It seemed like such a bad fit with Grubb.
Yeah, I mean, I think that anyone that's worked in any work environment, if you've got the boss not aligned with the people that are doing the work, bad things tend to happen. And the employees that are trying to figure it out are kind of caught in the middle. And I don't think that's a bad thing about Ryan Grubb or a bad thing about Mike McDonald. It just, they caught what they could at that point when who was available to hire an offensive coordinator. And I really like Ryan Grubb. I think he's going to do great at Alabama. I think he's got a big future still ahead of him. But it just wasn't a good fit for what Mike McDonald wants. And now you've got one of the, if not the classic offensive system in the NFL here. It's not a question of whether the system works or how it works or what to call or what kind of players you need or how to coach it. There's no questions. And last year, all there were questions, right? Like, how's Ryan Grubb going to do in the NFL? How's Scott Huff, never been an offensive line coach? Like, they were the only 2 coaches on that staff that had coached together before. Like, there's so many questions. And now the coaching staff is solidified. It's going to do what Mike McDonald wants. And even yesterday, there was a great moment. I don't know which coach screamed it out, but there was a play in team drills where Kenneth Walker was running to the left and broke through, and the coach was like, run the bleep off the ball. Like, that's the way to do it. And, they are so focused, and they know what they're looking for. And Mike McDonald, he smiles, doesn't often smile in press conference. You ask him what he's looking for, he's like running off the rock. And so this is going to be a team that has an identity this year. One thing we all talked about last year is, who is this team? Like, what are they? And I don't think that's going to be a question. Now, I think the questions for this year are, Do they have enough talent on offense? I think the wide receiver room, I have questions about whether it's dynamic enough, whether it's explosive enough. But I was doing some research yesterday, and it's interesting. You look at the highest scoring offenses in the NFL, explosive plays are a big part of it, but first down offense, how many yards do you average on first down? That is a highest correlation with whether you're a high scoring offense. You go back to the 2005 Seahawks, that was not a particularly explosive offense, but you could count on them getting 5-6 yards on first down and having the defense on their heels. That's the kind of team I think Mike Macdonald wants to see. I think Ken Walker is a big part of that. I think a lot of fans have kind of decided he's injured too often. I think this is a guy that, if he's around, and I think he's going to be, is an offensive player of the year level talent. And what I'm looking for is for him to have a meeting of the minds with John Benton the way Tom Cable did with Marshawn Lynch, to really run within the framework of the offense.
Yeah, that's always been kind of a criticism of Ken Walker's run style, is that he's always kind of looking to hit the home run and leaves some yardage where, you know, he's getting chewed up within the first couple of yards after the line of scrimmage. When you look at this run game, Brian, a lot of people were clamoring for Zach Charbonnet to get more time, but you mentioned Ken Walker and just the potential that he still has here, even in year 4. What are your expectations for those two guys? Because I think all of us know that, you know, second-round picks, that's a lot of investment in one position, 2 second-round picks, actually. So where do you see this run game going, especially now with this new commitment to it and Mike Macdonald making it the focal point of the offseason?
You know, Curtis, I mean, that's like asking Stacy, do you want ice cream or cake? What's the answer?
It's ice cream.
Well, it's why not both? Why not both? That's the answer. So
Stacy's got weird food opinions.
I
man.
know. There's still a friend of mine who's blocked on Twitter because he said he doesn't like enchiladas.
Which I think is weird. That's actually a bad food opinion.
I love that. I love that he's still blocked for it. He deserves it.
I'm never unblocking
Don't
him.
change it. So shout out to Derek for that. But yeah, I honestly mean the why not both part, because I look back at past teams throughout NFL history that have, you know, rushed for maybe 2,200 yards, been a defense that held teams under 20 points, under 19 points. I think that's kind of the style they're looking for. Mm-hmm. You can find Giants teams, you can find dozens of teams, and what they often look like, some of them, a lot of them ran this offense, not one, but 2 backs with 800, 900, 1,000 yards. There's a Giants team not that long ago that had 2,000-yard backs. So I think that people are forgetting that the Seahawks barely ran the ball last year, so the pie was very small. I'm going from cake to pie to ice cream, sorry, but
we'll take all of it.
We'll do it all. But there's fewer carries to be had. Now, you know, there's going to be a lot more rushing going on, so I think there's going to be plenty of carries for both those guys, and I do think Kenneth Walker's the guy that you want to feature, though.
I know sometimes you know, listeners, viewers tune in and they're like, Brian, who had the big touchdown? Who had these big moments? But I am sure that you also like to take in the things that aren't as obvious at camp. So I don't even know what your answer to this will be, but when you're here just kind of walking around, you're standing on the sidelines, you're able to watch all these practices, and this includes OTAs and minicamp. For you personally, what are things that you like to watch for that can kind of tell you about the direction a team is moving in or the vibe that you get from a team?
You know, I think warm-ups are a fun thing to pay attention to because you see which players kind of come together. And one of the things I've noticed is the tight ends have started, like, huddling up. And I asked A.J. Barner about that yesterday, like, how'd that start? And Eric Saubert apparently started that. And he makes the rookies in that room come up with a quote every day.
Stop.
Yeah. And I was like, are these inspirational quotes?
Just being a great reporter.
Right. And so, you know, he had some funny stories to tell about that. But, like, you see that's a young room. You see the offensive line. I was interviewing Charles Cross, and he waved over the rest of the offensive line because he wants them all in there. This is a guy who, even though he's coming into his 4th season, he's still like 23, 24. He's very young, but he's trying to step into a leadership role. And that's a young room that needs leaders to step forward. So things like that, I tend to notice. I've really been enjoying watching John Benton, Rick Dennison, Justin Out, and all those guys install this scheme. They're splitting off the left side of the line from the right side of the line, and they're working. Like, I'll watch John Benton literally take one foot in front of the other to space out exactly how far he wants the splits to be between the offensive linemen, and they'll stop and redo things. The amount of attention to detail, like, I just see it there, and I'm encouraged by what that can translate into.
Awesome.
Yeah. Where have your eyes been going towards mostly in practice here the last couple of days? Because obviously people who are up on the berm, you're just kind of watching the ball. You're just, watching, the quarterback throw. But there's so much else going on when these practices are going on. Have you felt yourself kind of drawn to one position group over another?
Well, I mentioned the offensive line a bunch, so I won't keep going there. But I've been looking at receiver, partially because, as I said, I have some questions about how much speed is in there, how much like playmaking is in there. And so Torrey Horton, the first 2 practices he's had have been the last 2 days, and I thought he had a really nice day yesterday. The other place that my eyes go are probably where a lot of people's eyes are going, is quarterbacks. And I thought Sam Darnold has had a really nice start to training camp. I think the shaky first day is well in the rearview mirror. And the story for me yesterday was Jalen Milroe. That guy, his mechanics are so much smoother. He's throwing such a pretty ball out there. And while a lot of the first and second string plays were making the right decisions to check down, right? That's a good thing to do if the guys aren't open. Jalen Milroe was pushing the ball down the field against, again, third string, but still a lot of those passes weren't hitting the ground. He was making some big plays, and he's not making them with his feet. And we all know how explosive he can be on the ground. So if he can keep this trajectory going, it's easy to imagine a year or 2 from now that this guy is going to be a difference-making starting quarterback.
Yeah, it was his best day, I thought, of anything.
For
We've
sure.
at least seen in an open practice.
Yes.
Easily.
Yeah.
Not easily, but it was notable.
Yes.
I have a double barrel question, but it's a fun one.
Okay.
And I think it'll be an easy one for you.
All right.
So we're going to look at the defense. And what's so interesting is we have pretty much every returning player, plus Lawrence, compared to offense. We're talking about, what to expect from these guys. So just looking at defense, you're going to be choosing 2 players here. Someone that either based on the offseason or your own expectations, you think has a high ceiling. You think we will be talking a lot about this guy this year, and someone you hope we're talking about a lot this year.
That's a really
and
fun.
it's okay if it's the same name.
That's fun. No, that's boring.
Yeah.
Let's give you 2.
I think it's fun to split it up.
So someone I think that they're going to be talking about, and someone that I hope.
Yeah.
So Byron Murphy is the hope. And realistically, he could be the answer for both, but I'll give you a second. So he is so important to the future of this team. And as much as Leonard Williams was just a game wrecker last year and will be again this year, you hope, he is on the older side or older side of his career. And Byron Murphy, is going to get a chance to play in more places, 3 tech and other places where he'll get to rush the passer a little bit more. I think this guy has got, sky high potential. And if he breaks out the way I expect him to, there'll be a lot of conversation about him. The next guy that I would offer there is Derek Hall. I think Derek Hall is somebody who, I heard your interview with him, which
he's so much more confident.
Fantastic.
It's crazy.
Fantastic.
I mean, he's always been confident.
Yes.
But it shows.
Yes. And, he's out there building his big trucks and
fishing
and,
doing lots
and all
of fishing.
that. But this is a guy that no longer has to wonder if he belongs in this league. After 0 sacks his first year and 0 real impact plays, he was a game wrecker at times, and I think his ceiling is much higher. And it's going to be really interesting. Him, Boye Mafe, that whole edge group is going to be interesting. I'm not sure they're done adding to that group, and we'll see if they make a move to add, and then you'll get Uchenna Nwosu back at some point as well. So really, really interesting group, and I think Derek Hall's got a lot to go.
All right, tell listeners before we unfortunately have to kick you out of here. We really enjoyed you being generous with your time, but you are gonna get out there, get ready for your show. Obviously, your takeaways from practice, which is set to start in a couple hours. Tell listeners where they can find some of those takeaways from today's.
Yeah, so YouTube, look for Hawkblogger, Instagram, TikTok, wherever you are, just look for Hawkblogger. Hawkblogger, and also give a shout out for HBTix, HBTIX.com. Only place that you can sell Seahawks tickets and make sure they're going to Seahawks fans.
There you go.
Ooh,
So let's
very
make sure.
You need to do
Let's
that.
make sure I don't get anything off of this. It's not a business venture. It's just
Are you
something
doing
I've
the Lord's
started
work?
to make sure that you have a place to sell Seahawks tickets to Seahawks fans.
All right, here's Brian Nemhauser. Brian, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me, guys.
All right, you guys, the Seahawks preseason home opener is August 7th, and we want to send one of you and 3 friends to watch the Seahawks take on the Raiders in person. All you need to do is open the Seattle Sports app and click the Win tab to find out how. If you don't already have the app, simply text the word app, APP, to 866-979-3776, and we'll send you a link to download. Enter daily to increase your chances to win. This contest runs through Monday, July 28th. Let's get to 4 Down territory.
This is 4 Down territory, going inside the game with former Seahawks and Coug wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
All right, Stacy, first down to you. Which new burgeoning NFL friendship you hate to admit that you're rooting for?
Look, I hate to say it because either you guys already don't like this quarterback, maybe you've been jaded by the wide receiver, but I recently read a really cool column coming out of Pittsburgh, you can guess where this is going, about how the offseason and how camp has gone so far for the Steelers. And I've never had anything against DK Metcalf. I'm very curious to see how he looks in the Steelers offense. I'm certainly rooting for him. And Aaron Rodgers was at one point one of my favorite quarterbacks of all time, and I think that sometimes he grates on a lot of people. There's a little bit of overexposure there. However, I hate to give a tip of my cap here. There's a cool thing happening with these two. Mike Tomlin makes players room together to, just like an old school approach, makes them room together to build up that chemistry.
They have like
He's an
a
old school
dorm
coach.
room in Latrobe.
And there is a cool story, and it's up on the Steelers site, of DK Metcalf and Aaron Rodgers being roommates. Mike Tomlin has made them be roommates, and he's also made them share a bathroom. And the idea with them sharing a bathroom is you're going to work on communication. You're going to make yourself kind of uncomfortable. You're going to get frustrated with this person and then learn how to deal with it. And one of the things about the toilet they've discovered is that it is very, very loud. Very loud when it flushes. So they've decided we're only going to flush it when we're not sleeping, and we're going to communicate with each other. Again, it seems so funny, but it's Mike Tomlin at work, man. This is how he does it. And there's part of the story is DK Metcalf using the bathroom, texting Aaron Rodgers at 9:30 like, hey, are you up?
Wow.
And Aaron Rodgers says, I am awake. And DK's like, bet, I'm going to flush this. Wow. So it's just a funny story, man. I found myself reading it and kind of going, you know what? I hope that this works out for them.
Man, these guys making $30+ million.
Sharing a loud bathroom.
Gosh, sharing the bathroom is wild, because that just takes me back to like college dorm
days.
Life. Yeah, where you walk into the shower in your sandals because you don't want to touch the floor, and you take all your toiletries down to the bathroom. Yeah.
Well, and I'm imagining like Aaron Rodgers is a good 15
So how big
years.
are these beds for these football players?
They can't be that big.
Are they
There's
twins?
no way they're
Are
bigger
they-
than a full or a double bed.
Oh, that does not sound appealing.
I just think it could be either deeply toxic or a fun odd couple situation. Either could be fun, but like I kind of hope it's the latter. I really do.
Second down. All right, Stacy, give us a friendship in the NFL that's a bit easier to love.
Okay, I think this is going to be easier for Seahawks fans. It's Sam Darnold and Drew Lock. Jalen obviously can be a part of that. He's new. Sam and Drew have already known each other for a while. Sam spoke with reporters yesterday, and someone mentioned, hey, Drew said some really, really good things about you. What's it like having him now as a teammate? Cut 20, take a listen.
That's nice he said that. No, I mean, Drew's the best. I think, just when the season comes around, you need the guys in the quarterback room to just support one another, whether it's me supporting other guys or them supporting me. It's full circle, and it works all the way around. So that's kind of the mindset we have in the quarterback room, and we're just going to keep that rolling all the way until February.
I think that this quarterback room is the deepest that they've had in a really, really long time. We talked about this a bit earlier in the show, so if you guys are just joining us, I'll just repeat it just a little bit. But I was thinking the other day at camp, look, in an ideal world, you'd have an MVP caliber, top 5 passer, and then you wouldn't really care who's your backup because you hope you never have to use them. That's not where the Seahawks are. They have to live in a different world. And for the world that they have to live in without that top 5 guy, I think it's a pretty solid situation. All 3 guys had really, really solid days yesterday. You heard Brian in here earlier. Jalen Milroe had probably his best practice of camp so far that reporters have been able to watch. Drew has looked great all season, and he looks like a more polished product than he did in his last stint here. I don't know if it's the coaching staff here working with him a little bit differently. I don't know if it's time with the Giants. I kind of doubt that it is. Whatever it is, he's really good with throwing on the run, the mechanics, everything just looks really solid. And Sam obviously is looking to build on what was a career best year. It is one of the deeper quarterback rooms. It's not going to have the high ceiling that others do, but I think Seattle's okay with that right now. They want to be a team that's kind of the sum of its parts as opposed to, you know, trying to lean on a couple first-team All-Pros just because they don't have those guys here right now.
3rd down. Stacy, J.J. Watt made a really great point about training camp yesterday. What did he say?
Love this tweet from JJ. He said, training camp stats are insane and ridiculous. And he's right. He's right. I get why we do it. On the one hand, people can sometimes, I think, unfairly make fun of reporters for doing it. But on the other hand, it's exactly what fans ask for. So that's why reporters are doing it. Like, fans want to know if there was an interception or a touchdown. Fans want to know if a certain wide receiver is really taking off, and the only way you can communicate that without sounding very generic, which I worry about sounding when I say stuff like Drew has good zip on the ball, but sometimes you're limited in what you can say, and so that just ends up happening. But man, if he doesn't highlight exactly why training camp is so tough to evaluate. JJ says, I used to think it was always just people joking, but now seeing them seriously reported, you have no idea what the purpose of that period is, what the goals are, what the context is. It could be strictly 3rd and long blitz period where every play is skewed to the defense's advantage. Coaches could be asking the quarterback to focus specifically on one route concept. Maybe the D-line is focusing only on bull rushes one day or speed rushes for one period. More importantly, practice is for practicing, and you're supposed to fail. You're supposed to try new things, see what works, what doesn't work. Speaking of someone I just highlighted, Aaron Rodgers, in his first practice with the Steelers, one of his first passes, if not his first, was intercepted. He was asked about it afterward, and he said the same thing where he was like, I saw something I wanted to try, so I did it. And that's the whole point, is you're trying to see
500 career touchdowns,
Exactly.
500 career touchdowns.
Yes. And I had to say, Aaron made a point. JJ is making a point. You want to try new things. You want to see, you're not just testing chemistry. It's how's this guy going to respond to this situation. We're testing this new concept. We're installing this part of the playbook. The other day at camp, you saw them moving specifically through a couple reads. They're not going 100%. That's intentional. So you had someone shouting, you know, that's a sack. And it's like, they all know that. This isn't a drill wherein they're really trying to, like, you know, it's a real scrimmage. And I think that there's a misconception that training camp is scrimmages, and that's not what it is.
4th down. We just had Hawkblogger's Brian Nemhauser join us here in studio, Stacy. So what stood out to you from our conversation with him?
Brian had some takes, and they were all really, really good. Highly encourage you guys to go back and listen to this interview once it's posted with the podcast at 3 p.m. I will say, though, for me at least, Curtis, and I'm assuming for you, Brian being kind of bullish on the offensive line and thinking the offensive line could be one of Seattle's most improved groups. I don't think he's just saying that. This is someone who really knows his stuff. Clearly, he's a reporter who knows this team very well, and he's watching the little things and feels pretty confident about where they could take steps. I think as a fan, you should hear that and let yourself feel encouraged and let yourself feel optimistic that maybe some tweaks will have improved that group. I think sometimes we get a little doomerism, whether it's with the Mariners, whether it's with the Seahawks offensive line. And I think it's okay to hit pause on some of that doomerism once in a while. Our coverage of Seahawks training camp is brought to you by The Landing in Renton. Aaron Donald is insane. And next up, I've got proof.
Seahawks training camp is underway.
That is music to the ears.
And nobody gives you more insider access than the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
Coach McDonald sitting down with us right now. This thing on and ready for you.
Watch how the Seahawks roster comes together.
Seattle Sports training camp coverage is presented by The Landing in Renton.
Seahawks training camp on Seattle Sports on 710, the Seattle Sports app, and the Seattle Sports YouTube page.
Dave Wyman here for Harley Exteriors. When you hear Harley Exteriors, I want you to think windows manufactured right here in Washington and specifically designed for our Pacific Northwest homes and climate. These are the windows you want. They look absolutely stunning, much better than a traditional vinyl window, and they're going to lower your energy bills and provide year-round comfort. They also come with a double lifetime, fully transferable warranty, meaning not only are you covered for glass breaking or damaged seals, it's going to help your resale and home value. These windows last up to 60 years. Harley Exteriors is making these windows affordable with options like 0 payments and 0 interest up to 12 months for qualified buyers. In July, Harley Exteriors is offering 50% off basic installation, no payments, no interest for 12 months, and an additional $200 off your project. Think Harley Exteriors for windows, doors, and more right here in the Puget Sound. Call 833-HARLEY or just go to harleyexteriors.com.
Need a new roof, a deck, siding, windows? Get up to $3,000 off any new installation. Hi, it's Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. Home projects can add up fast, but we're here to help you save big. Book now and lock in up to $3,000 off in savings. That's $3,000 off any new installation. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com to schedule your free estimate today. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
Adam Schefter here for Vivid Seats, your ultimate destination for all your sports and concert needs this summer. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every home run and thrilling comeback in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Visit VividSeats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
Whoa, it's you, the Capital One Bank guy.
That's what they call me.
Mind if I get a selfie?
Yeah, sure thing. Say no fees or minimums on your Capital One checking account.
Wow, that's a keeper. So, where are you heading?
I'm off to spread the good news that Capital One helps people keep more money in their wallet with no overdraft fees.
Oh, you're the best Capital One Bank guy.
Hey, mind if I get a selfie?
Sure.
Say, Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One NA, member FDIC.
Texting enrolls you into reoccurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could it be lower testosterone?
Lower T.
Happens to most guys after 40. I was in the same boat until I started using Nugenix Total T2.
Total T2, the new one I've seen on TV.
Yep, it's the next generation testosterone booster for both free and total testosterone. It's packed with even more man-boosting power, sending nitric oxide levels skyrocketing in just 3 hours.
It actually works?
I feel like I'm in my 20s again. I've got more energy, better results in the gym, and things are even better in the bedroom. Send them a text and get a complimentary bottle.
Text now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the #1 testosterone brand at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, absolutely free. Text CASH to 231231. CASH to 231231. CASH to 231231.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Heading outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nelly on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. 1 discount per household.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Why'd I go to the doctor? One day at the firehouse, I was so lightheaded I could barely stand. Even my crew noticed. Getting checked out was the right call. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit NoTimeToWait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Brought to you by Integrated Rehabilitation Group.
This is The Timeline
with Bump and Stacy.
Brought to you by 1-800-DUI-AWAY.
It is Bump and Stacy. We're listening to The Timeline, and Aaron Donald is insane. Curtis Rogers in for Michael Bumpus. Curtis.
I'm also insane.
This is the deal. Aaron Donald's
not like
workouts
Aaron Donald, though.
are. You don't like them?
No, I said I'm insane, just not like Aaron Donald.
Oh yeah, we're not. Me and Aaron are not quite the same.
Yeah, we're a little bit different.
I mean, we're both elite athletes.
Yeah.
But I just don't always show it.
Right.
You know? Yeah. I just keep it to
You know,
myself. I'm not gaudy.
Clark Kent wasn't Superman all the time.
Exactly.
Just about part-time.
I think it's a little excessive with Aaron. Aaron Donald's workouts are the stuff of legend in the football world. Rams Rookie of the Year, Jared Verse, I don't know that he got it. I think he had to find out the hard way. Cut 12. Take a listen.
We do 4 workouts. It's all cardio. Versus climber bike, lunges and core, 4 rounds each. You do all that. You're already tired. You're kind of like, oh, my God, whatever. Then you do 4 sets of core, 2 different workouts. So it's like 8 different workouts, 4 sets each. You do all that for 4 sets. You go through, he's like, are you ready for the real workout? I'm like, bud, I've been here for 45 minutes. What are you talking about? We go to the weight room. It's all arms. That's why he's big as hell. We go to the weight room. It's like 8 different circuits, all arms, 4 sets each. I'm there for an hour and a half. His wife came in laughing at me. I told her to call the police. I'm dead serious. I'm not even joking. I'm dead serious. I told her to call the police. She wouldn't do it. I tried to lie and say my mom was at my house and I had to go let her in. He told me to give my keys to his, like his management or assistant or something. They would go let my mom in. So I wasn't leaving. Finished the workout. I'm dead tired. I'm exhausted. I had a plan to go jump in the sauna afterwards. Didn't happen. Had plans to watch film. Didn't happen. Went home and I didn't work out for another day and a half because I couldn't move my body.
I love the idea of Jared Verse being trapped. He's physically trapped.
Even Aaron Donald's wife was in on it. She's like, no, I'm not getting you help.
He's a victim. He's trying to escape from this gym. They're just like, I need to get out of here. This
it's like in those horror
insane.
movies where it's like a glass window and they put their hands up. They're like, help! And they just slide down.
Just dying. I'm sorry. That is an insane workout.
Yeah.
45 minutes of intense cardio
as a
and
warm-up?
intense circuits as a warm-up. Then when you do your actual workout, having 8 circuits, 4 reps each is crazy.
Aaron Donald, I mean...
You did like 90 plus minutes of very intense, that's like 2 hours of an intense workout.
Yeah, he's just not of this world. The only other player that I can think of in NFL history that had a legendary workout was Jerry Rice, where he'd go run up and down mountains in the off season, and he would invite his teammates along, and he'd also be kind of like a workout sicko like Aaron Donald, where he would push his teammates to a level he knew he could get to, but knew that they would not be able to, and just seeing them tap out. And I think Ricky Waters, when he was with the 49ers, he tried to go with Jerry Rice on one of those runs and was just like, dude, stop. I'm going to die if I continue doing this.
Nothing is worse also, and this is where my heart breaks for Jared, nothing's worse than trying to make a lie to get out of a situation and then being called on it immediately. And I know he's saying this tongue-in-cheek, but being like, no, I actually have to go.
My mom needs me to
go let
hold
her
her laundry.
It's like saying that, oh, I actually have to pick up my car, or I have a meeting I've got to get to. And they're like, oh, you could take it here.
It's like, oh... No, wait, my laptop's in my car, which is
I better go.
Out there. I gotta go.
They're like, oh, we'll go get it. We'll buy you a new laptop. Don't even worry about it. You're trapped forever. Next up, the Seahawks announced they'll reveal their new Rivalries uniform on August 28th. You don't have to wait that long, and we'll wear it for the first time against the Rams on December 18th. You do have to wait a little longer to see it.
Yeah, that's a long wait for the actual uniform. But hey, I'm excited for what this could be.
There's a teaser.
There is.
In the promo video, it's the Seahawks logo in what I'll call a Kelly green.
And no blue.
No blue.
It's green and a kind of like a gray in a way.
Yes, that's a good way to say, like a stone color.
Yeah. I've always thought the Seahawks should have embraced the Kelly green a little bit more when they had their throwback uniforms. Like maybe get it like one of those Kelly green as a third jersey. But it looks like it is the current logo, kind of the more slanted version of the old Seahawk logo. But yeah, I think this spells the end of the action green. I think action green is over.
Devastated.
You don't sound very devastated.
I hate action green.
Don't think you're devastated.
No, I've got like a trigger reaction where and every single time I think this, and it irks me for 4 hours, I hate the way action green looks on turf. It makes turf or the field wherever you're playing look dirty, and then the action green is too bright.
Yeah.
I hate the contrast. I despise it. I will personally gather up those uniforms and take them to the trash.
I'm just hoping that these uniforms don't have like a gradient pattern on them. I've always thought gradient looks terrible on a football jersey.
It does.
You think of like
great for hair, bad for jerseys.
I've always said that.
I've always said that. The 49ers, next story here, are hoping to bounce back this season, but ESPN's Lois Riddick isn't buying the hype. Cut 21.
I don't think San Francisco scares the NFL like that anymore. And a lot of that also had to do with the kind of people they could roll out on the defensive side and rush you in waves on the defensive line. And they had to add a bunch of new young guys on that side of the football, and we don't know how they're going to pan out. We don't know how that unit is going to shape up. Look, we know that guys like Fred Warner and Joey Bosa, or rather Nick Bosa, are going to come out and play. We know that they're going to be there. But outside of that, look, you just don't know who this football team really is. And I think in an NFC West division that is just getting better and better, the Rams are on the up and up, the Cardinals are on the up and up, and Seattle is going to be better too. I think this could be one of those seasons where, look, San Francisco, I think you need to temper your expectations for them. I do. I know people don't like the word rebuild, but they are rebuilding some things there.
I'd like Lewis to be right about this.
Oh, I'd love it if this was a step back year, another step back year for the 49ers. I don't see the vision, though, that Louis Riddick is painting here because there's just still so much talent on that 49ers roster.
Well, and they've proven it before, right? Like they get dealt something like, I don't know, wasting a third overall pick on a quarterback who's not going to work out. And then they bounce back with the final pick of the draft, who, by the way, it's not like he won the starting job in camp.
No.
Like they ended up with Purdy.
He was their third choice. Yeah, Lance got hurt, Garoppolo got hurt. And they're like, well, let's see what we have in Brock Purdy.
It's Astros-esque minus the championships.
Yes, it really is.
Wherein you've just managed to overcome some things. And 49ers fans would be like, what are you talking about? We've, had heartbreaking Super Bowl losses. We've suffered some injuries. Like, we keep getting banged up. So I understand from a 49ers point of view, that sounds insane. But they have managed to work through quite a few obstacles thrown their way. With that benefit of the doubt, I'd say I really want to believe Lewis, and he knows so much more. But I have that natural fear of you always got to watch for the 49ers.
Yeah, I'm not counting the 49ers out until I see that what is it, EKG, where it's just flatline. I do not want to see the 49ers have a success in any way, but that does not mean I think they can't do it. I think they're very capable of having a great season. McCaffrey's healthy, Kittle's healthy. They've got just still dripping with talent across that roster. I think they could still make a lot of noise.
Next and last story in the timeline. This one breaking from ESPN just about 10-15 minutes ago. The NFL is fining over 100 players for selling complimentary Super Bowl tickets above face value through secondary market, through third party. This is still a developing story. The players have not been named. Some players have already accepted fines and still haven't been named. So I'm assuming we'll eventually find out who some of these players are, who some of the clubs are. But again, over 100 or at least 100 players from about half the league's teams have been found to have violated this policy. Here's my thing, Curtis. If nearly 100 players, and this includes people within an organization, so it's players, maybe some coaches, people who work there, whatever. If nearly 100 people did this, and probably more, I'm wondering if something wasn't communicated
bad language.
fully.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like, so you're
Confusing
telling me,
language.
yeah, you're telling me that over 100 people did something they knew positively they'd get in trouble for doing, like suspended potentially for doing.
I think this is how Mike Tice, former Vikings head coach, ended up getting fired one time because he had scalped Super Bowl tickets outside of like a Super Bowl venue while he was still employed in the league. But like, I don't know. maybe I just don't see the bad part in this.
As someone who would do this in a heartbeat, I don't.
Sure. Like,
if I was given tickets and couldn't go to the game and knew that, like, yeah, I'll sell them. Sure, it's just a natural
can you pick
reaction.
between the tickets or maybe like the cash value of the tickets? Because like I would love to receive the cash value of the tickets.
Yeah.
Even if it's face value.
And if you're thinking like a practice squad player or someone random with the team that's like not a player getting millions of dollars.
Well, and like we've heard a lot from players over the years that like, if I'm not in the Super Bowl, I'm not watching the Super Bowl. Why would I want to go to the Super Bowl?
Exactly. I'm devastated.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Obviously it's not great. You shouldn't break the rules. Secondary markets, I know, can be so upsetting because people are just trying to go to games and they get so frustrated with prices, and I get that. My sticking point with this is I'm wondering what the language communicating this looked like. Were they reminded over and over and over again, you must not under any circumstances do this? Because that's a lot of people.
Yeah.
A lot of people.
That's 2 teams worth of people.
IRG injury report brought to you by IRG Physical and Hand Therapy. Mike McDonald gave a few updates on Uchenna Nwosu and Jonathan Hankins on Wednesday. Cut 13. Here's Uchenna.
We'll see. We'll see. We're going to the season probably throughout the rest of camp, and then we'll go from there. But I think we'll just hold on to the timeline right now. But we're not necessarily close right now.
He said Hankins is on the NFI list, but he'll be fine long term. Still to come, Shaquille Griffin joining us at noon. Before we get to Shaquille, we'll check back in on MLB's trade deadline. A big move for the Mariners, but it's not one they made. That's coming your way next.
The Mariners go big.
Well, look at the Mariners striking first. How about that?
The Mariners trade for one of the biggest names available.
Welcome to Seattle, Josh Naylor.
Naylor swings and crushes one.
Way back and out of here. I love the deal. He's got a 360 on base right now. He can do everything. He's just a hitter.
What else do the Mariners have up their sleeve? The home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports has you covered.
Obviously still need relief pitching.
On 710 and the Seattle Sports YouTube page.
Welcome to IRG Sports Injury Update. We're with Shannon O'Kelly, physical therapist and president of IRG Physical and Hand Therapy. And our guest, Dr. Sarah Jurek, MD, board-certified orthopedic surgeon and shoulder specialist.
Dr. Jurek, orthopedic surgeon, specialize in shoulders. I'm an athlete. I'm young. I've had some traumatic injuries in my past. I have arthritis in my shoulder. I'm in my mid-50s. What can I do?
So the first thing you can do is try everything you can to get it feeling better without surgery. So that means physical therapy, stretching. Sometimes we do injections, so a cortisone injection. If there's something that you're doing that just absolutely irritates your shoulder and you can give it up, then maybe you modify your activities. And when all that fails, your next step is to consider a shoulder replacement surgery. You have a couple of options with that, and that's something that you talk with your surgeon about. But in general, there's 2 options for you. There's half of a shoulder replacement, which is called a hemiarthroplasty, and there's a full shoulder replacement called an anatomic total shoulder arthroplasty. And the premise is kind of the same for each. It's just trying to give you a smooth surface to let you have less pain and more function. Once you commit to it, a lot of patients are really scared that they may have to give up all of their sporting activities. And that's absolutely not the case. It will take some time to recover. You will have to do some physical therapy, protect it for a little while. But once you get past that initial recovery, then you can get back to doing your normal activities.
I'm just getting a new joint. I'm going to be fine. I'm going to return to activities. About 6 to 9 months. What's normal there?
I would say that's a reasonable expectation. I think full recovery from a total shoulder is a whole year. My outcome for a patient is when they stop thinking about it and they just use it the way they would before surgery.
Great option to get back to quality of life. Dr. Jurek, thank you for your time. If you want more information regarding shoulder injuries, you can contact Dr. Jurek at seattleshoulderdoc.com.
With over 40 neighborhood clinics around Washington, IRG has you covered. Let IRG be your family's physical therapist. Find the location nearest you at irgpt.com. That's irgpt.com.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. That's Cars with a K to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. cause for kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's carsforkids.org.
Now is your time to get into a new D.R. Horton home by taking advantage of their National Red Tag Sales Event, now extended through July 27th. Stop by any of their participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. So whether you're buying your first home or looking for an upgrade, you don't want to miss the Red Tag Sales Event extended to July 27th. Discover the D.R. Horton difference at drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder and equal housing opportunity builder.
The home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports.
Cal swinging a drive, deep to right field.
Every pitch of every Mariners game is on the Seattle Sports app.
If you want that summer body you've always dreamed of, then this message is for you, ladies, and you men, too. Get rid of extra stubborn fat and address areas of loose skin around the waistline, chin, and under the upper arms with ProSculpt, the new one-day instant permanent fat removal and skin tightening treatment. Maybe you've tried the lasers, fat-freezing methods, even those new pills, but without the desired results. ProSculpt is different. It's minimally invasive, performed while fully awake, gentle, yet powerful. Designed to target the waistline, chin, neck, arms, and thighs, ProSculpt uses FDA-cleared plasma technology to deliver immediate, permanent fat-reducing and skin-tightening results, all in just one visit. If you want that summer body this summer, then you must act now. Go to ProSculpt.com today to schedule your free consultation. Get $250 off. For instant, permanent fat reduction and skin tightening, visit ProSculpt.com.
Do Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keep coming back? Tremfya, guselkumab, may help, with rapid remission achieved at 12 weeks and lasting clinical remission at 1 year. Some even saw visible improvement of their intestinal lining at 12 weeks and 1 year. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Healing is possible with Tremfya. Approximately 3 out of 10 patients were in endoscopic remission at 1 year, based on areas visualized on colonoscopy, which may not represent the deeper bowel layer or entire GI tract. Individual results may vary. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
All right, well, we have some more movement ahead of MLB's trade deadline. We're now 6 days away. The Mariners getting Naylor was kind of the domino effect, setting everything else in motion. It not only made it clear that the Diamondbacks were sellers, but I think it just kind of, you need someone to kickstart it and in a cool way. That was the Seattle Mariners, and we're happy for that. So we've learned a bit more about Naylor, and we will, as part of this segment, just quickly kind of revisit what it means, where he could play. Lineup obviously isn't out, but we'll talk a bit about that impact. But then there have been a couple other moves. In fact, Curtis, why don't we start there?
Let's do it.
Let us know about maybe another significant move from this afternoon.
Well, the most significant one so far today is one that involves a team that was in the throes of negotiations with the Diamondbacks on Geno Suarez, but it would kind of signal that they are out on Geno Suarez based off of the guy that they acquired. That would be the Yankees acquiring Ryan McMahon from the Colorado Rockies. McMahon plays third base. You've got Jazz Chisholm at second base already. McMahon can play both second and third, same with Chisholm, but if you've got one and the other, then you're probably not going to acquire Suarez on top of that. Especially McMahon is owed quite a bit of money over the next couple of seasons. I think $16 million this year and next year. So that's a significant financial investment for any team looking to add. So I think, and I think a lot of people around baseball have kind of assumed that McMahon going to the Yankees means they're out on Geno Suarez, or at least they don't look to be making as big of a push for him as other teams are. So that's great news. Another name that got dealt, lefty reliever Gregory Soto from the Orioles. He goes to the Mets. That was somebody who I was talking to Charlie Furbush about yesterday, and Charlie really seemed interested in Gregory Soto as a potential addition for this Mariners team, needing another lefty out of the bullpen. That's not going to happen, but I think if you're the Mariners, you got to add a reliever or two. You can never have enough relief pitching, and that seems to be something that no matter where the Mariners are this time of year, relief pitching is something that they do end up picking up. And, maybe you don't go out and get like Emmanuel Clase from Cleveland, who is potentially available, kind of wondering what Cleveland does here. We talked to their broadcaster, Matt Underwood, like, hey, they've been rolling lately, but they were super cold before that. Like, where do they stand this close to the deadline? Doesn't sound like Clase is going to get moved right now, but if you're the Mariners, you've got to be able to add, I think, another arm to your bullpen, too.
With the Geno stuff, I also assumed, okay, well, maybe this means the Mariners are just the remaining front runner. There are other teams. I mean, no hitter who's had 35-plus home runs has ever been dealt at the deadline.
Right.
And you can put 2 and 2 together. Normally, that's because those teams are in contention. Normally, if you have that kind of player, maybe he's a franchise guy, he's setting records. It's just an absolutely insane season. But the Diamondbacks happen to be in a really tough division, and they are deciding to be a seller in a seller's market. So fantastic for them. I do wonder, Geno's set to be a free agent. He does love it in Arizona. He's expressed openly, like, I really hope I'm not traded. So maybe they feel like, well, God, we could keep him. We've got some pieces.
It's funny.
This isn't a team in full rebuild.
It's funny you bring up Geno because he has given comments on each of his previous landing spots in his career within the last week or so. He was asked about Arizona being like, oh, I don't want to get traded. I love it here. He was also asked about Seattle. It's like, oh, a piece of my heart will always be in Seattle. He was asked about Detroit, and he said, I'd love to start my career off, or I'd love to end my career where I started it. So he's just like giving all these compliments out.
That's why he's so likable.
I know, everybody loves Geno, and Geno loves everybody.
Exactly.
It was just like, oh yeah, a piece of your heart is still here, Geno. We love you.
253. It also tells you how much they're asking for Suarez. That potentially the Yankees were like, absolutely not. We're not going to do that. But then I don't think the Mariners would.
I think at this point of the trade deadline, we're 6 days out. What does it benefit the Diamondbacks to trade Suarez now? Like, there's not a benefit at all for them.
They'll never get as much for him as they will. They could re-sign him, great.
Right,
but
also,
will he ever have this many home runs for you? He's got 36.
Right, but what if he hits 4 or 5 within the next week again? Like, all of a sudden, you're going to be asking for another prospect on top of what teams have already offered.
And you'll never get more than that. I think it's. Right. Are you saying, like, what benefit is, to trade him now as opposed to in a couple days?
Right.
Oh, okay.
I think if you're the Diamondbacks and you're holding on to the most sought-after piece at this deadline right now, there's no benefit to trading him right now when you still have another week of negotiations to where you can drive up the asking price. Like, that's why I don't think Suarez has gotten moved, and I think the Yankees maybe heard the asking price that the Diamondbacks were looking for, and they're like, yeah, we can't match that. Like, we just don't have the prospect firepower to do something like that. Whereas, with McMahon, his numbers were down, and his salary was, more than what Geno's making. I think the Yankees are kind of like, well, we won't have to give up as much. He's maybe not as good as what Suarez could be for us, but it's something. It's something we can tell our fan base, hey, look what we did. We went out and got this guy who has had success in the past, but I don't think that trading Geno Suarez right now on the 25th benefits the Diamondbacks as much as it would trading him on July 31st at 2:58 p.m. Pacific time.
Agree overall with the approach, and in all likelihood, he probably will hit another home run before then. I'll raise you that there are people going, well, what if he gets hurt? All of a sudden, you lose trade value.
Okay, yeah. I mean, that's the risk you take with every addition you make to your roster. So that obviously, comes into play, sure, but I think at the end of the day, if you're looking to add the most punch to this roster, Geno Suarez is where it's at. And, obviously you're not going to have room for all these, top 100 prospects on your Major League roster at some point. Like, you've got a million middle infielders. They all can't play shortstop at once.
We'll get back to this a little bit later in the show. Mariners insider Shannon Drayer joining us at 1 o'clock. And then not long after that, we're eventually going to get this lineup, figure out exactly where Naylor will be. You will see him today in Game 2 against the Angels. Curtis, you want to go outside and talk to Shaquille Griffin?
Let's do it.
Okay, let's go. We'll see you guys in a bit.
The Mariners trade for one of the biggest names available.
Making a statement with just 6 days till the trade deadline. We're all in.
Josh Naylor is now a Seattle Mariner, and they do it without giving up a top 10 prospect. You get a player that fits in almost every way. I love that they got out there and beat everybody to the punch.
What else do the Mariners have up their sleeve?
Is it enough? I don't know.
Stay plugged in as the Mariners approach the trade deadline with Seattle Sports.
America's favorite car show is back. It's the Good Guys 37th Griot's Garage Pacific Northwest Nationals, presented by Wicked Fabrication. All this weekend at the Washington State Fair Event Center. Over 2,500 of the Northwest's finest hot rods, muscle cars, and trick trucks. Shop the Fender Big Way, a free family fun zone, great live music, Saturday night twilight cruising, and so much more. All this weekend at the Washington State Fair Event Center in Puyallup. Details at good-guys.com.
It's the Garage here for my friends at Premier Golf. Take advantage of early sunrise and late sunset at the 11 different Premier courses today. From Bellingham, Everett, and Marysville to Linwood, Bellevue, and Seattle, even out on the coast, they've got a course near you. Play Inner Bay or Jackson, Bill Wright or West Seattle, Bellevue, Legion Memorial, Walter Hall, Linwood, Cedar Crest, Lake Patton, and even Ocean Shores. Courses are in great shape and ready for your next round. Visit PremierGolfCenters.com, that's PremierGolfCenters.com, and book your tee time today.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Summer is here, and now is the time to break through those weight loss frustrations. Hey, it's Dr. Coogan with Eastside Weight Loss Clinic, and we have a proven system that can help you lose weight and get healthy. No drugs, no side effects, no calorie counting, no exercise. Just teaching you the simple steps to become a fat-burning machine and keep it off long term. Remove the stress of trying to do this on your own and picture being down 20 to 30 pounds in just 60 days with our help. At Eastside Weight Loss Clinic, we know the secret for fast and lasting weight loss using real healthy foods and lifestyle changes. Schedule your free consultation online at eastsideweightlossclinic.com.
Yeah, look your best this summer. Even with a busy schedule and vacation, the Eastside Weight Loss Clinic plan isn't going to cause much disruption. Don't wait or put it off because you're busy. Lose weight during this summer and watch that transformation really happen for you.
Join the thousands of people who've lost 20 to 30 pounds or more in just 60 days. You can do our program in person in Kirkland or all remotely. Schedule your free phone consultation online at eastsideweightlossclinic.com.
Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
All right, Takis fans. Wendy's knows you love your Takis Fuego chips. So we thought, why not make a Takis Fuego meal with a Takis Fuego chicken sandwich with spicy chicken topped with crushed Takis Fuego chips and creamy corn spread. Plus, it comes with Fuego fries inspired by Takis and a bag of Takis Fuego chips. If we had any more heat, we might start an actual... I told him this would happen. For an intense new take on Takis chips, gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. Includes 1 ounce Takis Fuego chips while supplies last. Takis and Fuego trademarks are used under license.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Breaking from ESPN earlier this hour, at least 100 players from about half the NFL's teams face fines or possible suspension for selling their complimentary Super Bowl tickets above face value on the secondary market. Again, that's a developing story. No players or teams have been named yet. The Yankees have found their third baseman at the deadline. It's not Geno Suarez. Instead, the Rockies are sending Ryan McMahon to New York.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
this is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. Curtis and I have switched sets. Curtis Rogers in for Michael Bumpus today. Happy Friday, everyone. We're live at Seahawks training camp on the shores of Lake Washington, Virginia Mason Athletic Center. And we're about to be joined by Shaquille Griffin. He's still making his way out, as all the players will, for practice here in about an hour. He's set to join us in a couple minutes. I have eyes on Blitz. He likes to scare me.
Oh, yeah,
we have
right.
We have an ongoing feud.
What are the standings right now? Because last year,
we don't need to talk about
last couple of years,
couple of years, I've fallen behind.
Yeah, Blitz loves to make Stacy jump, and
he does it successfully because I'm much shorter than Blitz, and so he kind of sneaks up and he's
kind of a bird of prey.
I win if I don't get scared, and I lose if I do get scared, and I like kind of knowing where he is.
Jumpy person.
Nothing's better than just, I didn't get scared. Everything scares me. Every single thing scares me. Shaquille Griffin is just going to, hey guys, like the friendliest guy on the planet. And I'm just going, oh my God, I didn't see you, sorry.
Shaquille Griffin is like,
so nice.
He is very friendly. He's got the million-watt smile. Everybody is in a good mood when he's around, so looking forward to talking to him.
You know what's so funny about the defense? I was just talking with Seattle Times' Mike Farrell about this the other day. We're going to have him on Monday. We'll be talking trade deadline, but he also obviously covers the Seahawks, and he was just mentioning how crazy it is that you've got so many new faces on offense, and then on defense, it's much of the same.
Right.
In a way that's fantastic for the defense, not only because they finished the year so strong that last half of the season they were one of the top scoring defenses, one of the top defenses in limiting yardage, and got so much better against the run. But it also means that there's no big, splashy, huge addition that in your mind can take you over the top. You really are looking within. And I know Shaquille is an addition. DeMarcus Lawrence, obviously, in addition. Nicky Manwari's in addition. But Mike was making a great point that you're looking at the guys you already have going, hey, Derek Hall, where can you take the next step? Hey, Ernest, where can you take, an even greater step here?
Yeah, I think the most encouraging thing I feel about kind of where the offense and defense are is that heading into last season, the defense was one of the biggest question marks on the entire team. And where are we now? In July of this season, you're talking about the defense potentially being a top 10 unit, maybe even a top 5 unit in the NFL. Whereas the conversations we're having about the offense right now kind of remind me of what we were talking about with the defense last year. And
where you don't know quite what you have, the hope is that you improve.
Right. So if things maybe follow the trajectory that the defense was on last year, hopefully the offense we talk about next year is one where it's like, all right, we're looking at a top 10, maybe top 5 offense. Now, that might be making it a little simpler than it will end up
what
being.
You're saying, though. It's an interesting.
But it shows that Mike McDonald and his staff, when they recognize a weakness, they will do darn near everything they can to fix that.
What's interesting, too, is the stability that they have at coaching. I was thinking of what you were saying, and I remembered writing so many articles. We've had so many segments entering into last season about, hey, you've got DK, you've got Tyler, you've got Geno, you know who you are on offense. You've got, pretty much everyone is a returning face that you know. Defense is that massive question mark. The underrated, I don't want to say issue, but Ryan Grubb didn't end up being a fit. And that was actually hugely impactful. Even though you have, new faces on offense, a new offensive coordinator, it's still Mike McDonald.
It
still
is.
His team. I know it's only year 2, but coaching is a really, really important, hugely, hugely underrated, undervalued area of stability. And this is not only a really brilliant head coach in general, but one who is able to explore the playbook even more with this group.
Yeah, and I mean, it always kind of feels like in year 2 of a coach taking over or year 2 of a regime change, that's where things either get really solidified or maybe things don't. And I get the vibe that Mike McDonald is really just kind of clamping down and making sure that there's not even a possibility for things to get out of whack.
It sure sounded like it when Brian was talking to us, and he was like, these coaches, man, they're on them.
Exactly. And so, and I think there's a lot of buy-in, too, with this roster and the guys in this locker room because, one thing that I kind of have always been thinking about this offseason, remember when the NFLPA the NFLPA grades came out of each organization, and Mike McDonald in year 1 got an A. Like, there were very few guys that were like, oh, I don't like this guy or anything like that. Like, it showed that his locker room really bought into what he was saying, really, was able to just digest what he was saying. We've heard he's a great teacher.
Yeah.
So I don't think you have to worry about guys buying in, which is hard to do when it's, just year 2 and you didn't make the playoffs a year ago. But I think the Seahawks are in. I mean, look, will this season end in a Super Bowl title? I'm not banking on it, but you can see that progress is being made in areas where it needed to be made for a while.
Yeah, I am eager to see. I think for the first time in a long time, I'm heading into a season with expectations that at least facet of the team can take a step into becoming this top 5 unit. And it has been a while since I've thought that. I think that I thought Geno was an incredibly underrated passer. But I didn't have like top 5 necessarily expectations for the offense because there are so many incredible passers in the league and just an offensive explosion. You have to have such a combination of talent. We already had questions about the offensive line. I know that when Jamal Adams was acquired, it was hard not to look at this secondary, look at this defense as a whole and think, oh, what if? That's probably the last time that I looked at a group and thought, I've seen enough to think they can really take a step and lift themselves. And when we've had so many conversations about Super Bowl teams, one of the things we always settle on is you cannot be average.
No.
We can have fun talking about feel-good stories or saying, oh, you want to be good at everything. You cannot be a Super Bowl team, and you cannot be a Super Bowl winner without being elite somewhere. And sometimes it's an underrated facet of your game. When the Chiefs were one of the best offenses in the league in their 2019 team, and the knock was always like, oh, they're doing this, but the defense is bad and it's going to cost them. That defense was actually wonderful with like getting to the quarterback. Like they would allow a ton of yardage. They would allow points, and it didn't matter because Patrick Mahomes and the offense would add it up, but they would find a way to at times get pressure on the quarterback, and they were an underrated group when it came to sack totals.
Yeah, I think you mentioned you can't be a Super Bowl team without elite traits. I think of like the New York Giants in 2011, where they were 9-7 in the regular season, and people looked at them as a team like, I think they were the 6th seed too in the NFC, and people were like, oh, there's no way they could, make noise in the playoffs, and then they do. Why? Because their pass rush was amazing. Same goes with that 2007 Giants team, where they kind of entered the playoffs in the same light. And it was like, oh, well, they're pretty average everywhere you look. But it's like, no, they had an elite pass rush both times.
Yeah.
And that propelled them to a Super Bowl championship. So, yeah, I think you're just trying to develop that elite trait that sets you apart from every other team. And
what do you want it to be with Seattle's defense?
Boy.
I mean, if you got to pick an area where you go, the secondary, they're so versatile, they can get to. I mean, they didn't get a ton of takeaways last year. I'm kind of looking at the outside backers. I'm glad Brian mentioned them because I love the conversation with Derek Hall. We've had Boye Mafe on the station as well with Wyman and Bob. I think it could be a group that ends up taking a massive step forward that people are not expecting to.
I think where I'd love to see the Seahawks become elite is generating turnovers. It's been a long time since we have seen a Seahawks team lead the league in interceptions or force fumbles or what have you. And that is going to benefit your defense. Obviously, it gets them off the field. And then your offense is going to be out there longer. Your offense is going to have more opportunities to put up points. And look, I mean, with Sam Darnold and what he is as a passer, we heard from, I think it was Mike Greenberg, who came on with us during the offseason and said, look, with Sam Darnold, you're going to get the turnovers. Like, that is just something that happens with him. But you're going to have to make enough positive plays to negate those.
Yeah.
And a positive play to help negate those is generating turnovers with your defense. That, to me, is something that I so desperately want to see out of this Seahawks team. I want to see the corners, guys near the league lead in interceptions. I think that would do wonders for what the Seahawks team wants to do. And I think Mike McDonald, too, has emphasized that as well.
Yeah. Joe in Bellevue, echoing our sentiment. You have to be elite somewhere, he says. Good most places, average somewhere. You absolutely can't be horrible at something. I think actually, I think in theory you could be. The other day I mentioned how the Chiefs were one of the worst offenses in explosive pass plays. They still made it to the Super Bowl. They've made it and won with a bad wide receiver group that led the league in drops. They made it and lost with a wide receiver group that didn't really get down the field a ton. So, again, I would say that they were bad at that, but God, Patrick Mahomes is such an incredible difference maker that it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
In theory, Joe, I agree with you. If we are 4 or 5 weeks into the season, and it's clear that this offensive line is atrocious, let's say, it's not happening.
Right.
You can't overcome that. Now, if we get 4 or 5 games in, they've got the run game going, and that offensive line is just fine. I think you start wondering, well, God, maybe I've been wrong about the floor.
Right. Yeah, I think so. I think you've got to be able – I think if the run game gets going, that is going to be the most positive development on the offensive side of the ball this season outside of maybe what Sam Darnold does. You kind of have to treat the quarterback position maybe a little bit differently than what the rest of the offense does. But, I mean – running the ball is so fundamental to what the Seahawks want to do, and it's been that way not just with Mike McDonald. It was that way with Pete Carroll forever and ever. Heck, it was that way with Mike Holmgren and how good they were in 2005 with Sean Alexander. Like, you cannot win in the NFL at an elite level without a run game. You look at all the teams that have made title runs in years past. I mean, last year, obviously, the Eagles with Saquon Barkley, who had maybe the greatest season ever by a running back. Heck, the Ravens with, Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson, they come so close every single year to winning the Super Bowl. The Bills have found something in James Cook. They're still working on a deal with him, but I think getting that run game going, and you've got talented guys here. Like, there's no reason why Ken Walker shouldn't be a 1,000-yard back this
Well, I
season.
think the knock people have always made is, like, you can't talk about who you want to be without making steps to be that person. And the natural thing has been, if you say you want to be a great run team, you have 2 second-round running backs. You've frankly always had some solid ones, but you've never truly invested in that offensive line. That's always been the knock, and I've understood it. I mean, at a certain point, you go, you're right. Like, you can't say, oh, we really want to run the ball. That's who we want to be. And then you bring in a college offensive coordinator who, like, excelled with the pass, and, you miss out on some additions to your offensive line. I do think, though, that Zabel is a massive, massive addition and a massive, massive investment. Passing on Will Fries was tough, but you can kind of understand the health issues and concerns that they had there. You hope that the pieces you already have, a healthy Abe Lucas, for instance, Charles Cross developing again, that ends up being enough.
Yeah. I think it's funny you look at the Will Fries situation, and that was a big point of the offseason, a big inflection point of the offseason where so many Seahawks fans were like, why wouldn't you, guarantee him that 5th year.
Well, they thought it was hypocritical. They thought that it was like.
But also, I don't know if it was an either-or situation where it's like you can either have Will Fries or Gray Zabel, or if it was a Will Fries and Gray Zabel situation. I kind of think if they had gotten Fries, they might not have drafted Gray Zabel. They probably would have looked elsewhere. But, like, if you think about it, who would you rather have right now? A healthy Gray Zabel
Based
on
on
a rookie
everything
deal.
we've heard about him, yeah.
Yeah, or Will Fries coming off an injury and you're paying him near the top of the market money for a guard.
I think most people would say both. And
Right, yeah,
they'd
why
say,
not
like, I want to
both?
figure it out.
It's not
but
your money, Curtis.
I mean,
get it.
Yeah, Zabel not going through the physical before you could bring him in. Like, I can at least understand the qualifier. At a certain point, you do need to put together a group that can get you to be a competitive offense. End of the day, it's just a non-negotiable. Maybe that group is that. I mean, I'm fired up from hearing what Brian had to say about this offensive line. He was pretty bullish on their improvement, and I hope that is what we see. Again, players not out here at practice just yet. Starts at about 1 p.m., so we will be on the field during the first hour of practice.
Right.
Able to give you some limited observations about what we see. Curtis, this is your first day out.
It is.
And normally, I mean, you were on pre and post, so you couldn't come out yesterday.
Right.
What are you eager to see at practice today?
What am I eager to see? I want to see Jalen Milroe. I want to see what
great
the fuss is all about. Not the fuss, the hype. The fuss is not a good thing. But so what the hype is all about. I have seen everybody's videos on social media, but I want to see it with my own eyes because obviously the traits jump out at you, and the traits are so tantalizing, and you're just kind of wondering, like, what could this kid eventually turn himself into? And based off of what Brian Nemhauser told us earlier in the show, how he looked so good yesterday, I want to see that from him. And I get that, like, this season may not necessarily be riding on that right arm of Jalen Milroe, but it kind of feels like we're in this, like, 2011, 2012-ish portion of the Mike Macdonald tenure where it's like, all right, you're starting to get a little more pieces in place. You're starting to get a little more established. Like, let's see what this future brings. And I don't know if there's any player on this team more important to what 26 and 27 and 28 look like around here than Jalen Milroe.
Shaquille Griffin, I think, is going to be in a little meeting, and while I think we, frankly, should be the priority for him, I can understand that. So we're going to see if we can grab him at 12:30. Right now, let's get to headline rewrites.
Extra, extra, read all about it.
Headline rewrites.
We must make headlines.
The real story behind the headlines in today's news with Bump and Stacy.
Mariners legend Ichiro will be inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame on Sunday. What's the real headline?
And I'm going to induct my fist into the face of whoever didn't vote for
That's
him.
right.
That's going to continue just to be
Catch
the most
these
egregious,
hands.
pointless thing. I really try sometimes to figure out a devil's argument for or a devil's advocate argument for certain things, and I simply cannot.
It made no sense then. It makes no sense now.
It'll make no sense tomorrow
It won't.
or the day after.
And he is one of those inner circle Hall of Famers that deserves to have a unanimous election to the Baseball Hall of Fame. It's ridiculous that of all the greats that have ever made it to the Hall of Fame, only Mariano Rivera is the one unanimous selection. Like,
I'm not
Babe
saying
Ruth
he's not
was
a great,
not.
That's it.
Jackie Robinson, Willie Mays, Hank
Modern
Aaron.
examples, Griffey,
Yeah.
Ichiro. I know that I've got bias here, but come on.
Cal Ripken, Tony Gwynn.
Jeter, for that matter.
Right, yeah. None of them made it in unanimously except for Mariano Rivera. It's ridiculous.
I think there's a pretentiousness sometimes with a Baseball Hall of Fame. I know that people do a very specific kind of, oh, well, I want to vote for this guy. This guy's going to get in, so I want to vote for this person so he's still eligible, which I think is a fair and appropriate thing when you've got a guy who isn't a favorite to get a unanimous vote. When you can get a unanimous vote, I think it's also fair to recognize that as part of a baseball history that could be respected.
Baseball writers love themselves some baseball writers.
They love gatekeeping.
Yeah, and they...
We're going to have a great baseball writer on today. We'll hold her accountable.
Well, Shannon doesn't have a Hall of Fame vote, but... And I think she would echo our sentiments
I know she'd vote.
about baseball writers.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, she'd absolutely vote. She's in Cooperstown. We'll talk about Ichiro and all the festivities going on there. We'll also get her take on the Josh Naylor trade. But, yeah, congrats, though, to Ichiro. I mean, we knew he was going to end up in Cooperstown probably within like year 2 or year 3 of his career in the States. But congrats to him.
What's next?
Headline rewrites.
The Mariners used 3 home runs from Julio, Randy Arozarena, and Jorge Polanco to take the series opener from the Angels 4-2. What's the real headline?
We were hoping for number 40, but we'll take 3 for the price of 1.
Yeah, a lot of fun last night seeing those 3 bats get going. All of them had home runs. Julio with the solo shot, Randy with the 2-run home run, and then Polanco with a nice insurance run in the 8th inning. That turned out to be pretty important because in the 9th inning, things got a little bit tight. The Angels loading the bases. I did not mind Munoz not giving Mike Trout a single pitch to hit in that at-bat because even though... Yeah, well, and even with Trout being what he is now, like kind of diet Mike Trout, he's still Mike Trout.
Diet Mike Trout.
I am not messing with him in any sort of clutch situation. So good on Munoz to pitch around him and get the third out the hard way. But shout out to the Mariners bouncing back after a really tough loss to end that Brewers series. You look at the Mariners over the last 13 games, Stacy. It has been the most extreme one way or another. You get swept by the Yankees. You sweep the Tigers.
Yeah. There is no in between. You will lose 11-2 or win 11-2.
You take 2 of 3 from the Astros and then get 2 of 3 taken from you by the Brewers. And the Brewers put up, 17 runs? You only scored 3 in that series. So hopefully the Mariners can find some consistency here, string together a few wins, and hey, put a little bit more pressure on your front office to go out and get more guys. I hope that Josh Naylor is not it. I hope that there's more on the way.
I don't think he will be. It certainly didn't seem like it from the reporting yesterday, as you noted, and we'll have Shannon on, like you said, a bit later to be able to ask her. One more question about today's game. You are going to be able to see Naylor today, so an added benefit. You guys would be watching and listening anyways, but before we know the lineup, one of the most popular questions I've seen on the text line is about the lineup. Curtis, where would you slot Naylor in? And in general, how do you like the structure, or the lineup construction of what we've seen? Some people are big on it. Some people don't care. Some people want Julio later. Some people, are fine with how it is.
I don't mind how the first 4 have shaken out over the last couple of weeks with JP, Julio, Cal, and Randy. I think if you put Naylor after Randy, move Polanco down a little bit, now you've got a pretty formidable 1 through 6. I think Naylor would be a good number 5 spot in the order. And also, if you put him in at number 5, you're not asking the world of him right away. If you had slotted him as your cleanup hitter or slotted him as your number 3 hitter, I think the expectations would be a bit more if he was hitting in those spots, but I can live with Josh Naylor being your number 5.
Someone said to move Cal to 4 and Naylor to 3rd.
I want
Which
Cal
I understand
Raleigh.
The logic of
I want
getting
Cal Raleigh
guy,
batting in the first inning with JP Crawford potentially on base with his 400 on base percentage, and Julio reaching base as well. I want Cal getting as many bats as possible.
Next up.
Headline rewrites.
The Mariners actually gained ground on the Astros after Houston lost to the A's on Thursday. What's the real headline?
Can too much good happen in one day? I mean, God. Yeah, the Mariners winning, the Astros losing.
You hope not.
And then the Mariners ended up acquiring a new bat at the deadline.
Nothing went wrong yesterday.
I don't know this feeling.
Which may explain why my car wouldn't start this morning when I went to turn the key.
I got strawberry on my shirt.
No, and it's a white shirt.
That explains it. No, that's where the karma came back.
Dang. Well,
it's also not to complain, but it is a little colder than I would like it to be.
It's a bit chilly today. I kind of like it though.
I don't.
It beats the unbearable 90-degree heat.
I'll take 90
usually
degrees right
here
now if it meant that I wouldn't be cold. Is it a training camp day if I didn't complain about the weather? I don't know.
No, it's not. That's kind of your brand.
It's right. I didn't want it to be, but it is now. I can't
July and August.
Who I am.
July and August, Stacy, the most uncomfortable Stacy of the year, which is saying a lot.
The Seattle Seahawks preseason home opener is August 7th, and we want to send one of you and 3 friends to watch the Seahawks take on the Raiders in person. All you need to do is open the Seattle Sports app. Just text the word app, APP, to 866-979-3776, and we'll send you a link to download. Enter daily to increase your chances to win. This contest runs through Monday, July 28th. We'll see if we can get Shaquille Griffin joining us next. Don't go anywhere.
The Mariners go big.
Well, look at the Mariners striking first. How about that?
The Mariners trade for one of the biggest names available.
Welcome to Seattle, Josh Naylor.
Naylor swings and crushes one. Way back and out of here.
I love the deal. He's got a 360 on base right now. He can do everything. He's just a hitter.
What else do the Mariners have up their sleeve? The home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports has you covered.
Obviously, still need relief pitching.
On 710 and the Seattle Sports YouTube page.
Now is your time to get into a new D.R. Horton home by taking advantage of their National Red Tag Sales event, now extended through July 27th. Stop by any of their participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. So whether you're buying your first home or looking for an upgrade, you don't want to miss the Red Tag Sales event extended to July 27th. Discover the D.R. Horton difference at drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder, an equal housing opportunity builder.
Overburdened with a bunch of stuff you don't want anymore, but feel bad throwing it away? John here with Happy Hauler, Seattle's eco-friendly junk removal. We prioritize donating and recycling. We'll help get your items to those in need instead of going to the landfill. At Happy Hauler, we pride ourselves on responsibility, community, and sustainability. We're a family-run small business that provides junk removal, donations, and recycling. Make yourself, your community, and the planet happy. It's time to reclaim your space. HappyHauler.com, hauling with a heart.
Hey, Brock Ewart here for my friends over at PCF Construction. If you're seeking a complete outdoor living space or a very specific project like an underdeck ceiling, maybe a new deck, patio cover, railings, well, my friends at PCF have you covered. This summer, well, you can enjoy 12 months of no interest and no payments. And how about this? Plus 50% off a design and architectural drawing package or up to $5,000 off an undercover system. If you're looking at your outside and saying, golly, what a beautiful summer in the Pacific Northwest, and we can't take advantage of it, well, take advantage of these offers today. If you've been wanting that new deck, that new patio cover, make the call. Get online right now and connect with my friends at PCF. You can find all the offer details. You can get project ideas, and you can browse photos at pcfgroup.com or call today at 425-629-8476. Don't let this offer pass you by. It's 425-629-8476.
The Mariners are giving you more baseball for your buck. With Mariners Value Games, score seats for as little as $11 on select dates all season long. Plus, check out the expanded Mariners Value menu and beers available every game. Enjoy ballpark classics like hot dogs and nachos for less than $5 and a great selection of brews starting at just $5. Go to mariners.com/value to grab your tickets and check out the full slate of value options at T-Mobile Park.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Why'd I go to the doctor? One day at the firehouse, I was so lightheaded I could barely stand. Even my crew noticed. Getting checked out was the right call. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit NoTimeToWait.com, sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
The Bump and Stacy Show is powered in part each day by the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law Personal Injury Lawyers. Go to pendergastlaw.com.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Lowe's knows big savings make a big difference, especially when you're shopping for appliances. Hurry in to get up to 30% off select major appliances. Plus, My Lowe's Rewards members get free delivery, free haul away, free installation and parts on purchases of $2,500 or more. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 7/30. Selection varies by location while supplies last. Price, delivery time, and vehicle availability may vary based on order size and location. Exclusions apply. See Lowes.com/delivery for more details.
I have a handful of stories that really affected me personally in my career and how I handled employees. Lee Johnson, coming out of his office as a customer, asked me where the service department is. And I was like, yeah, go to the end of the hall, go up the stairs, go across the breezeway, open a door, go to the left, you want Chevy, go to the right, you want Mazda, because I didn't even have enough time to say, hey, what kind of car do you have? Here comes Lee, and it's like, oh, man, come with me, let me show you. And then have him come back and not dress me down is just almost like with that fatherly disappointment of like, hey, that's not how we take care of people. I mean, the right way is to walk her down to the stairs, walk her up the stairs, open the door for her, go over, cross the way, open up that door, introduce her to somebody. So she's comfortable, she's made it to the right place, and that we value the business. What you did was you made it seem like she was an inconvenience to you. Customers are the purpose of our day.
The LJ Way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Oh, man. Leading off NFL headlines, a bummer story for Christian Wilkins. I also remember wondering if the Seahawks would really pursue him when they were building up that offensive line. So weird now to look at that in hindsight. But just 5 into Raiders' tenure, defensive tackle Christian Wilkins was released and had the remaining $35.2 million of guaranteed money owed to him voided. The release stemmed from Vegas wanting him to have another surgery on his foot, and Wilkins didn't want to have another procedure. The Raiders voided his guarantees due to a failure to maintain his physical condition to play. That's a tough situation.
It is,
Wilkins.
yeah, especially because it feels like this is just inviting a huge grievance from the NFLPA on behalf of Wilkins
Well,
here.
forcing someone to get a surgery that they clearly think they don't need.
Right. That seems a bit much. I wonder how much this too, and we saw it early in Pete Carroll's tenure here in Seattle, is kind of him maybe trying to send a message to the rest of his team, like nobody's safe. Because we saw it here with TJ Houshmandzadeh getting cut after just one season in a Seahawk uniform. He was signing with Jim Mora the year prior. And then also Pete brought in Lendale White, who, I mean, Lendale White and Pete Carroll will be tied together forever based off of the success that they had at USC. But then he cuts him in the training camp, his initial training camp. And that was another moment where everybody was like, oh my gosh, Pete Carroll cut one of the stars of his USC tenure almost immediately after taking over. I wonder if this is Pete just kind of being like, all right, fun and games are over.
Yep.
Like it was all fun and everybody was singing Kumbaya, but now it's time to lock in. I mean, gosh, but voiding $35 million, like, that's insane.
I know. An early report from NBC Sports is the Patriots could take a look. Obviously, again, he was a top signing. Like, this was a massive, massive deal for Wilkins when it happened. And it just obviously never panned out with this injury. So, all right. Well, we'll keep an eye on that. Get to the next story here. Aaron Rodgers talked about the Super Bowl aspirations Steelers have. Cut 15. How does he feel about the Steelers' Super Bowl chances?
I think most of the 32 teams would probably say something to that accord at this time of the year. But I think that there's really only 6 to 8 that really have a legitimate chance. Sometimes it's 10 to 12, and there's teams that surprise you. But I would say on paper we're probably one of those 10 to 12.
I actually thought this was a very... I'm like Team Aaron Rodgers today. I've already had one positive story about him, and this is another. I'm sorry. I hate to say it, but...
Listen to yourself.
I find this to be a very frank, honest answer because that's exactly how most people see the league every single year. It's like, are you a contender? There's a pool of teams who absolutely will not be. There's a pool of teams who will be. And then there's these teams in between where you go, with the right pieces doing the right things. And that's where he sees himself. And frankly, kind of where I see the Steelers too.
I just don't see it from the Steelers this season. And it's not like
Ramsey, DK Metcalf.
I think 3 years ago with the talent that they've added this season, yes, I would put them squarely among Super Bowl contenders, but it feels like they're trying to catch lightning in a bottle with a lot of guys kind of nearing the end of their powers, especially Jalen Ramsey, who's 31 now. He's not what Jalen Ramsey was when he was with the Rams. I would say that the Steelers can be a playoff team this year. I'm not doubting that. Super Bowl team, I'm doubting that.
Oh, I'm doubting a Super Bowl team.
I just don't see it from them. But can they make the playoffs? Can they be a 9-10 win team? I think so. I think if things bounce their way. I mean, heck, they were, what, a 10-win team last year with Russell Wilson, Justin Fields as their quarterback?
Who would be your hot take team if it's not the Steelers? If someone was like, tell me a team that is a hot take team for a Super Bowl team.
Ooh, to potentially become a Super Bowl team this season.
Yeah, and for anyone listening, this means you're not saying the Chiefs, the Bills, the Ravens, the Rams. Like, it's a hot take team.
You want to know a hot take team? Dallas Cowboys.
Stop.
They've got a lot of talent on their roster. They've got a lot of talent on their roster.
Good
and they were bad last year, but, Parsons wasn't healthy. Diggs wasn't healthy. You've got CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens now. Pickens is going to be the wild card with them.
Yeah.
And then Dak, obviously, not healthy last year. But I feel like if everybody is at their very best, the Cowboys can at least make the playoffs, and I think they can make some noise in the playoffs, too, if everybody stays healthy.
Speaking of the Cowboys, saw a coach walking across the field with a visor. I swear to God, I thought it was Schottenheimer for a minute.
You're in the wrong place, sir.
I do those things sometimes in general with players, like who's got you'll see a player wearing a number, and the body type sometimes is very different. Like, you see a 31, you're like, that's clearly not Cam Chancellor. Sometimes, though, you get a running back, and you're like, 25, oh, that's Travis Homer. No, it's not. It's absolutely not.
Well, Shaquille Griffin.
You see 10 plus years of Cam.
Shaquille Griffin is wearing number 24, and he's got long dreads. So, I mean, walking across the field in a number 24 jersey with dreadlocks, it's like, is that Marshawn Lynch? No, it's not Marshawn. Marshawn's like 45 now.
No. You get so used to identifying certain numbers quickly, and the best part is when, instead of thinking of, Legion of Boom era players, you just think of the guy in between that wore that number. You're like, why am I thinking of this guy? All right, let's get to our next story here. Jags head coach Liam Cohen was asked how they plan to divvy up Travis Hunter's practice reps at wide receiver and corner cut 16. Take a listen.
Yeah, he will, probably within the first 6 practices or so. Like, we'll probably have him, you want to give him a couple days offense, couple days defense, and then give him an opportunity to go flip-flop within the same practice. And then that will kind of become the norm, right? Like, once we do that, that'll kind of become the norm and how we operate, but it'll probably be within the first week or so.
Do you have it mapped out for the whole camp?
Oh, yeah. The whole camp's mapped out. Every single moment. I don't know if you saw it during special teams, he was doing defensive drills and fundamentals and footwork. So, he's every moment, every minute that he is in the building, it is accounted for, and trying to make sure that we maximize, his time, our time, so that we can ultimately get the best outcome.
Curtis, atop the list of things I'm really eager to see week 1 for the season, outside of anything related to Seattle, is how they use Travis Hunter. How soon could we see him on either side of the ball?
It's going to be just the most fascinating watch. I think he'll have his detractors the way that Shohei Ohtani had his when he first came to the States, and like, oh, you're going to hit and pitch at the same time?
They just wait for one half to fail. The
Yeah.
second that he had a skid where he didn't really perform here, it's like, just switch him full time.
I think Travis Hunter, give it some time, will be able to pull off both. I don't know how often he's going to be able to do one or the other. He may have games where he is strictly a wide receiver, games where he's strictly a DB. But I think you'll sprinkle it in occasionally. I'm rooting for his success. I really am. I don't understand the people who are like, oh, you can't do it. Why not?
It's weird.
You can try.
It kind of speaks to the level at which he's been doing it outside of seeing it with our eyeballs on TV with Colorado. You also look at 2 different front offices with Cleveland and Jacksonville, and there were a couple other front offices that sounded off, but these 2 in particular, where either GM saw him in a different role. So I can't remember if Andrew Berry with Cleveland thought he was primarily a corner defensive back or a receiver. It was one of the 2. I think primarily a defensive back, and then the Jags saw him as the opposite or whatever it was. That 2 smart, capable front offices had differing opinions on where they would really take advantage of him.
Yeah.
NFL talent evaluators are like, that's a starting corner and that's a starting wide receiver.
Right. And, I mean, heck, the Jags traded up for him in the draft. I would imagine you don't do that if you're planning on playing him at just one position. I wonder how high Travis Hunter is going to go in fantasy drafts, especially fantasy leagues that allow you to choose a defensive player. Like, do you have Travis Hunter, the DB, and Travis Hunter, the wide receiver, as separate players in fantasy football?
Ooh.
Because in
Yahoo's working on it right
in
now.
fantasy baseball, there is a separate Shohei Ohtani pitcher and Shohei Ohtani hitter.
Curtis, you tapped into something special.
I know.
I also can't tell whether you never want to take a rookie early, but I can't tell whether Hunter will be the smartest or dumbest pick that you're going to make in fantasy.
Because not many offensive players can get you a defensive touchdown.
Let me tell you what, when I took Jamar Chase randomly, it ended up saving my season. As a rookie, obviously. All right, we got a couple more stories coming your way. Taking a look in at the Chiefs, we got another contract situation happening between Buffalo and one of its stars, and then Mariners insider Shannon Drayer joining us at 1. Don't go anywhere.
Seahawks training camp is underway.
That is music to the ears.
And nobody gives you more insider access than the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
Coach McDonald sitting down with us right now. This thing on and ready for you.
Watch how the Seahawks roster comes together.
Seattle Sports training camp coverage is presented by the Landing in Renton.
Seahawks training camp on Seattle Sports on 710, the Seattle Sports app, and the Seattle Sports YouTube page.
Hey, are aches, injuries, or everyday pain slowing you down? Well, it is time to move better, feel stronger, and get back to doing what you love. IRG Physical and Hand Therapy is now accepting new patients, and no referral is needed. Their expert team offers personalized, hands-on care to help you recover faster and stay pain-free longer. Shannon, what is it like to see new patients walk through your doors?
Rock, it's wonderful. You know why? It's because it's an opportunity for us at IRG to make a difference in someone's lives. It's so important that when people come in, they experience engagement, coaching, teaching. We build relationships with our patients, and we want to make it easy. We all know that healthcare has a lot of what I call minutia in it. We have a concierge call center. When you call, we're going to check your authorization, verification, certification, justification. We're going to find out everything we need to know about your insurance, and we're going to make it easy for you because we want you focusing on getting better.
And all you got to do is head over to irgpt.com to find the clinic nearest you. irgpt.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Hey, that's the spirit. Right now, we're celebrating free with a free STP oil filter when you buy 5 quarts of oil and free Duralast brake pads when you buy 2 rotors. Like always, free battery testing, charging, and recycling at every store. Celebrate free at AutoZone, now through July 28th.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Progressive's AutoQuote Explorer lets you easily compare direct rates from different insurance companies, so you can be confident you're getting the right one, even if it's not with Progressive. Way more confident than you were when you bought that TV in the parking lot. It just happened to not come in a box or include a remote. And when you finally managed to turn it on, all it displayed was the menu of Grumpy's Tacos. So use Progressive's AutoQuote Explorer and be confident you're getting insurance that's right for you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Dave Wyman here for Harley Exteriors. When you hear Harley Exteriors, I want you to think windows manufactured right here in Washington and specifically designed for our Pacific Northwest homes and climate. These are the windows you want. They look absolutely stunning, much better than a traditional vinyl window, and they're going to lower your energy bills and provide year-round comfort. They also come with a double lifetime fully transferable warranty, meaning not only are you covered for glass breaking or damaged seals, it's going to help your resale and home value. These windows last up to 60 years. Harley Exteriors is making these windows affordable with options like 0 payments and 0 interest up to 12 months for qualified buyers. In July, Harley Exteriors is offering 50% off basic installation, no payments, no interest for 12 months, and an additional $200 off your project. Think Harley Exteriors for windows, doors, and more right here in the Puget Sound. Call 833-HARLEY or just go to harleyexteriors.com.
Seattle Sports is giving you a shot at 4 tickets to see the Seahawks host the Raiders August 7th. Just open the Seattle Sports app, tap the Win tab in the bottom right corner, and enter. You can enter once per day, so the more you enter, the better your chances. Enter daily from July 23rd through 28th. Full details and rules at seattlesports.com/win. Only from the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports. the home of the Mariners.
Left off to center. It is on its way. Julio, 2-run home run.
Hear every pitch on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
The Davis Law Group Charity Golf Tournament heads to the Prospector Course in Suncadia on August 20th. Proceeds benefit Life Support I-90, funding life-saving training and equipment for the first responders on call every day, covering the thousands of travelers heading over the I-90 corridor east of Snoqualmie Pass through Cle Elum and the surrounding areas. Tee times and sponsor packages are limited, so sign up today at dlggolf.com. That's dlggolf.com, because the life you save could be your own.
It's the Graz here for my friends at Premier Golf. Take advantage of early sunrise and late sunset at the 11 different Premier courses today. From Bellingham, Everett, and Marysville to Linwood, Bellevue, and Seattle, even out on the coast, they've got a course near you. Play Inter Bay or Jackson, Bill Wright or West Seattle, Bellevue, Legion Memorial, Walter Hall, Linwood, Cedar Crest, Lake Patton, and even Ocean Shores. Courses are in great shape and ready for your next round. Visit PremierGolfCenters.com. That's PremierGolfCenters.com and book your tee time today.
What's the biggest mistake you can make when selling your home? Settling for less money. That never happens with Orchard. Disappointing offers can wear you down, causing you to settle for thousands less. You don't have to settle when you sell with Orchard. Orchard reinvented the real estate industry by guaranteeing your home sale and helping you sell on the market for top dollar. First, Orchard gives you cash up front so you can buy and move into your new home first, on your timeline. No waiting, no showings, no double moves. Then once you're all settled in, your Orchard agent helps sell your home on market for top dollar. Here's what one Orchard customer said. I never could have sold without Orchard. I made way more than I expected, and it couldn't have been easier. With Orchard, you never have to settle for less. Buy before you sell and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Curious how much your home is worth? Visit Orchard.com to get your free home valuation. That's Orchard.com. Orchard.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
All right, I caught a couple more NFL stories we didn't get to that I want to touch base on while we look around training camp here first. So I have to tell you guys, Seahawks doing the cutest thing right now. They've got
it's like a Pee Wee
football team Seahawks that are lining up like on either side of an aisle for the players to be introduced and walk through and high-five the kids. Julian Love came through.
Thrill of a lifetime for these kids.
This is one of the best things to see at training camp. I mean, we are going to get to like actual football conversation. I know you guys don't want to hear 10 minutes of this, but I will say it. I'll say it anyway. One of the coolest things about training camp is seeing kids look at every athlete. Because for a lot of kids, it doesn't matter who you are. It's not like they're like, I don't want to talk to you. You're on practice squad. Like for a 7-year-old, seeing a player, this big dude in a Seahawks uniform. I mean, there's guys working out behind us, and you just have these kids that go by. There's literally a kid doing it right now, and they stop and they just stare.
You
and
can
like,
hear
oh
them say, like, oh, who's number 10? Who's number 25? You can hear them whispering to each other because they don't want to say it out loud and, you know, kind of be caught gawking. But, like, this is got to be the thrill of a lifetime for these kids. I remember being an older teenager, probably like 16, 17, getting the chance to go to training camp. And even then, it was still like the coolest thing because you're not going to get closer to the players and the coaching staff at any point this season than you will out here at training camp.
Yeah, there's
over
not going to be
month.
that opportunity. You can get autographs after games in that little corner by the end zone, but otherwise it just doesn't happen. You've got players coming out now, some of the specialists. Abe Lucas came through.
Kenny McIntosh.
These kids are just losing their minds. It's so cute. Okay, I want to get to just a couple other stories here quickly. Let's see. I want to talk about this contract situation happening with Buffalo. Contract situations always fascinating to me.
This is the time of the year for it, too.
It's the time of the year. It's that time of the year. This one worth watching, though, between Buffalo and Pro Bowl running back James Cook. Brady, I'm going to go to 17 here. Cook was asked if he thinks negotiations will stretch into the regular season.
I mean, we have talks. I'm never going to give up. I mean, I deserve what I want and I need, and it's going to eventually happen.
Are you confident that, like, we don't have to be here in Buffalo?
I mean, however it happens, it's going to get done. Wherever it happens at.
I think that I don't want to say more than ever. There have always been contract issues and holdouts. It's always been a thing. But I do find maybe my own opinion of it shifting over time to just kind of more people understanding exactly why a player would not want to get hurt, would want to make sure he gets his money. And in this case, it's a contender. This is a Super Bowl contender that's looking at a massive weapon going, we got to make sure you're here.
Yeah, Buffalo without James Cook this season, their ceiling becomes a little bit more limited if he, continues. At least he's holding in. You can't negotiate if you're not here. And I think a lot of players that are holding out, I mean, very rarely, I think, do players get what they want after holding out. Like, the teams don't necessarily call them up and be like, all right, name your price. We want you here. It's usually a sacrifice on one person's part, a sacrifice on the team's part. Cooler heads hopefully prevail. Good on James Cook, though, for reporting, because you can't get a deal done if you're not present. Yep. So I think Buffalo will reward that. I don't think there's going to be any concern. But he's definitely, I think, worthy of a new contract. I would say he's firmly a top, probably 7 or 8 running back in the NFL.
Let's talk about a former Husky here making headlines. Going to go to 18. Michael Penix thinks the Falcons have what it takes to be the best offense in the NFL.
The potential, we should be the best in the league. With the guys we got around us, we got a great offensive line as well. Those guys work extremely hard in the trenches. With Coach Leffert out there leading those guys, doing a great job with those guys. We should be unstoppable. So that's our goal. We want to be number one in all the categories on the offensive side of the ball. So.
Now, listen, do I think that's going to happen? No, I don't. I love the optimism. However, one critique fairly of the Falcons has always been, you guys have quite a few top 10 picks invested on offense, much less just like anywhere on your route. You have some top 10 picks invested on offense right now, and you haven't been able to really take advantage of it for myriad reasons, and also they've really been knocked for pass rush, so they just haven't been able to get together. But I think a lot of people are constantly wondering, are you going to be tapped into Kyle Pitts finally kind of unleashing? He and Bump would love this. He and Michael Penix are golf buddies, so they're working on that chemistry.
I mean, when will Kyle Pitts show his fullest potential? Because we've been waiting on this guy to be the greatest tight end of all time ever since he was drafted. That's what the expectation was for him. And I don't even know if he's ever made a Pro Bowl in his career, let alone that. But you're right. The Falcons have a ton invested on the offensive side of the ball.
Bijan Robinson, Michael Penix Jr., Kyle Pitts, Drake London.
They've got dudes all over the place on that side of the football. I think Atlanta can definitely challenge for an NFC South title this year. I think the Bucs are a really good team, but that doesn't mean they're unbeatable. So I think the Falcons and Penix can definitely make some noise. I was very impressed with that Week 18 game that Penix played against Carolina. It was a loss, but there was probably 5 or 6 throws in that game that Penix made that just kind of made me, just open my mouth and what?
That quarterback class in general, not this recent one, but that quarterback class in general might be collectively one of the most fascinating storylines to me heading into 2025, because you're going to see J.J. McCarthy for the first time. You're going to see more than a couple games from Michael Penix Jr. And then you have Bo Nix, who grew so much over this season with a chance to build. Drake May, who grew a ton over the season with a chance to build. Caleb Williams facing massive expectations with a ton of weapons, and new OC and new everything. And then, of course, you've got Jaden Daniels building on a fantastic breakout season. It's such a good group.
It is. And what's funny is that a lot of times, even when these guys are rookies, you can kind of see it from some that it's okay, this guy's going to become something, and this guy's probably not going to become something. I think all the first-round quarterbacks taken last year, you can see the potential of at least being a really good starting quarterback in the NFL at some point. I feel like Caleb Williams may have had the toughest year of any of them, and he still put up over 3,000 yards. His goal this year is 4,000. So I think, I don't know, when I was going into 2024 and I looked at all the quarterbacks taken in the top 12 picks last year, I was like, no way can all of these guys be studs. No way can all of these guys pan out. But I don't think any of them you can write off as a bust by any stretch of the imagination.
Absolutely
at this point.
Not. I keep hearing, yay, the kids, and every time I look over, I'm they're doing it. I'm like, okay, someone else is coming out. Who's this going to be? Jalen Milroe.
Yeah.
Quarterbacks are coming out. Drew Lock just came out. Their voices get a little louder for the quarterbacks.
Yeah,
I will say that. They do start losing their minds. All right, we're going to get back to baseball here. Over the last hour, certainly, we've been pretty heavy Seahawks, and I've gotten so many questions on the text line, Curtis, about, where's Josh Naylor going to be in the lineup? What might the team still need to add? What prospects could still be, traded? Is it enough? Are they going to get a bullpen arm? So many questions, and thankfully, we're going to have some answers. Shannon Drayer joining us next. Don't go anywhere.
He's one of the greatest.
The pitch to Ichiro.
And Sunday,
There it is, number 200, a bullet.
Ichiro takes his rightful place in baseball's Hall of Fame.
Number 258, a major league record for Ichiro. My Ichiro!
Mariners insider Shannon Drayer delivers complete coverage from Cooperstown at SeattleSports.com and the Seattle Sports app.
Ichiro!
Are you curious about who offers the best deals on top-rated Samsung, LG, and Sony TVs? The answer is surprising. It's not online, and it's not the warehouse clubs. The best deals on top-rated TVs are at Video Only. Don't believe it? Then check out the trade-in deals at Video Only. How about $500 for your old TV? Try doing that online. Before you buy that new TV, drop into Video Only. If you don't, you'll be sorry.
The 2025 Seahawks season is almost here. Get fitted for game days with jerseys, caps, and tees, including the 2025 training camp collection. Visit the Seahawks Pro Shop at the Landing in Renton and Lumen Field or online at Seahawks.com/Pro Shop.
Get in the game at Hoops on the Pier. Friends of Waterfront Park and Rise Above are hosting a 2-day youth basketball camp at Pier 62 for ages 6 to 16. It's free, it's fun, and it's right on the water. July 31st and August 1st. Plus, open courts during the afternoons. Open to all ages and abilities. Don't have a basketball? No worries. We have a ball for you. Live out your hoops dreams on the waterfront. More info at waterfrontparkseattle.org. Brought to you by Friends of Waterfront Park.
If you want that summer body you've always dreamed of, then this message is for you, ladies, and you men too. Get rid of extra stubborn fat and address areas of loose skin around the waistline, chin, and under the upper arms with ProSculpt, the new one-day instant permanent fat removal and skin tightening treatment. Maybe you've tried the lasers, fat freezing methods, even those new pills, but without the desired results. ProSculpt is different. It's minimally invasive, performed while fully awake, gentle, yet powerful. Designed to target the waistline, chin, neck, arms, and thighs, ProSculpt uses FDA-cleared plasma technology to deliver immediate, permanent fat-reducing and skin-tightening results, all in just one visit. If you want that summer body this summer, then you must act now. Go to ProSculpt.com today to schedule your free consultation. Get $250 off. For instant, permanent fat reduction and skin tightening, visit ProSculpt.com.
Now is your time to get into a new D.R. Horton home by taking advantage of their National Red Tag Sales event, now extended through July 27th. Stop by any of their participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. So whether you're buying your first home or looking for an upgrade, you don't want to miss the Red Tag Sales event extended to July 27th. Discover the D.R. Horton difference at drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder and equal housing opportunity builder.
Need a new roof now? With State Roofing and Exteriors, you can get started with 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months. That's right. Protect your home now and pay later. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/free. That's ziprecruiter.com/free.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/free. That's ziprecruiter.com/free.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
News story breaking from ESPN earlier today. At least 100 players from about half the NFL's teams face fines or possible suspension for selling their complimentary Super Bowl tickets above face value on the secondary market. The Yankees have found their third baseman at the deadline. It is not Geno Suarez. The Rockies are sending Ryan McMahon to New York. Does it mean the Mariners are closing in on a deal for Geno? We'll be keeping an eye on updates throughout the show.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour is brought to you by Mazda of Everett.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. We're starting to see moves get made ahead of the trade deadline. Who better to have on than Mariners insider Shannon Drayer? She joins us now on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. Shannon, how's it going?
It's going. How are you guys?
Good. I hope you can hear us okay. You'll have to excuse the background noise. We're at camp, but hopefully you can hear us okay. We're obviously going to start with the newest addition, the Mariners. Get things started. Domino piece to fall here, acquiring Naylor. What does he – I'm going to start with just the basics. Shannon, what is he bringing this offense?
Well, he's bringing this offense a lot. You know, he is a good hitter, particularly against right-handers. He is not somebody who strikes out a lot. He is somebody that makes a lot of contact, and at his best, he does have some pop. Hasn't shown a lot of it this year, but he is somebody that has that potential and has also the ability to help the Mariners lengthen their lineup. And that's been a little bit of a problem. You saw what happened when it was all clicking at the beginning of the year for about a month, and then things happen, and you kind of find that there are adjustments that are made to the hitters that you have, and some make the adjustment and some don't. And the Mariners obviously needed a little bit more help in the lineup. And that said, I look at it, and I like a lot what we have seen from what this lineup can do. But absolutely you want to add, and if you can continue to add, you keep doing that. But what I love about this deal is that they got it done as quickly as they possibly could, because that gives them the player. I believe Naylor is supposed to be in Anaheim tonight. That gives you the player at least 6, 7, and maybe even potentially 8 days before you would have had him, and so he can have that impact. If they'd signed him on deadline day on the 31st, I mean, he may have been there on the 1st of August. It might have been the 2nd, but they need that help right now. So I think that he is somebody that is going to give them something, particularly in the middle of the order, probably batting 5th, I would think, although I wonder if they would move him up against righties. But he's somebody that has basically hit 3 through 6 over the last couple of years, and is somebody that is going to keep, I think, at a minimum, the line moving, and at his best is going to help you score some runs.
Shannon, last year at the trade deadline, there were no top 100 prospects moved among any trades across baseball. Yesterday, you saw the Mariners and what they gave up for the Diamondbacks. Do you think this year could be a repeat of last year, where guys get moved for maybe less than what we all kind of think they might get moved for?
Well, I think what it takes to move a top prospect like that is somebody that's got years remaining. And I think that most of the players out there that you are looking at are more of the rental type, something that the Mariners have kind of shied away from in the past, but it makes perfect sense right now, particularly with what they've got coming up in the minor leagues. So you don't want to bring somebody, well, sure, you want to bring in any good offense that you can get, but they don't have right now, if you look at the options that seem to be available, it is the shorter-term option. So it's good to see them make that adjustment. And, do I see players out there? Could Geno perhaps require something in the top 100, way kind of towards 100 perhaps? But if you're looking at a rental-type player, I think this happens every season. I think we end up, for the most part, usually being pretty surprised at what teams were able to get them for. So it's tough to get a complete read of it right now. I'm surprised that it's taken this long for the market to get going in earnest. If you think back to last year, you had players joining teams 3 weeks out, 4 weeks out. The Mariners, I don't think you probably count what they did with Victor Robles as deadline because it was so early, but you just really haven't had that. So it'll be interesting. Either it will follow that trend or it'll be very frenzied over the next 6 days. But I think it would take something that you have more length of contract, like when they acquired Luis Castillo, for players of that caliber really to be thrown into something.
Shannon, one of the most popular questions we've gotten from listeners following the trade is, well, what's on the other half of this? Who gets less time? Does someone get DFA? Does someone else get traded? So who are you kind of looking at where it's like, will we see a move here? What's it mean for him?
I'm really not sure. I mean, you're adding a left-handed bat, and you have left-handed bats with the same availability, basically, in Canzone and Rayleigh. Somebody has to play in right field, so you've got that space. It looks like Polanco is taking up that DH spot right now, and I think you like what he's doing right now, and the switch hit ability right there. So it would seem that would make sense, but it might also be something that you are looking at because you don't know what's going to happen over the next 6 days. So it might have to be a player with options. It might, Canzone has the options, Mastrobuoni has the options. So I'm not convinced that what we see today, assuming that Naylor is there and ready to be activated, is going to be what it's going to be once that player has been down the required 10 days. I think that it will take a little time to see what develops there and what other players the Mariners perhaps bring in or perhaps even trade.
Shannon, last night after the Naylor trade news dropped, you reported that the Mariners are very much still in on a trade for Eugenio Suarez. How close well, you saw the move for Ryan McMahon today that the Yankees made. That probably takes New York out of the running for Suarez. When do you expect anything to happen on that front if Arizona chooses to deal him?
I'm really not sure, and I don't think that this is going to go right up to the deadline. The idea that it was ever going to be either or with Naylor or Suarez, that just wasn't a thing. Mariners are definitely very interested in Suarez, and I don't think as of last night that was imminent, be it to whatever team it might be. And there are still a number of teams that are interested. So it is much more complicated than a situation with Naylor where there wasn't as many teams that were searching for a first baseman. So I don't really have a sense other than I think I might be surprised if it went all the way up to the deadline, because I do think that teams, what we saw with Naylor, they very much value that they want the opportunity to get that player into the lineup and get production from them as soon as possible.
I was happy to see the Mariners add one of the corner infield spots, happy to see offense added, and I think most fans naturally at any trade deadline are going to look for, where are you adding the offense? Where's the big bat? But Shannon, we were talking with Ryan Rowland-Smith the other day, and he stressed just how important it's going to be for this team to add to that pitching. A bit of a twofold question here for you, but what's the kind of fatigue level, or where's the pitching at right now? Is anyone being worn out? Are there any fears you have? And then secondly, do you expect them to add there?
Well, my fear with the starting pitching, I think we can all agree, absolutely, go get a leverage arm for the bullpen. I don't think there's any controversy in saying that. And, yes, they are looking for an arm for the bullpen right now. I don't know how much they are looking at a starter. And my thing with the starter is it has been a battle all season long with the entire rotation. You have had injuries. You've had players come back and struggle in their comeback. And I like very much what we saw from Logan Gilbert his last time out. And I've said this before, and I do think it's important. The Mariners desperately need him to be an ace, not just their number one, but they need him to be the fearsome guy at the top of the rotation that basically when everybody is driving in to the game on his start day, they're thinking we're going to win this ball game. They've already put the W down. That is something, and I talked to Ryan Roland-Smith about it on the postgame show a couple of days ago, and that's very real, what that can do to a clubhouse and a team and the rest of the rotation, too. So it appears that I think he has found that path. I do like the swing and miss that we've seen from him. I think the command has been the biggest issue with him. I don't think it's a matter of stuff. I think we've seen the stuff, and I think he was very close to putting it to, I mean, he was very good last time out, but I want to see nasty, 1 through inning 6, hopefully something into 7 on a little bit more of a consistent basis. And he's fully capable of it if healthy. He was the innings leader last year in baseball. You know, you need that at the top of your rotation. George, we've seen very good from him, and we've also seen some struggles that are a little bit uncharacteristic. We've seen him walk more people. It's not a dramatic amount, but it is more than he usually walks. So I'm not 100% convinced on where George is right now. I don't think he's in a bad place, but I don't think he's to the place where you need him to be or where he's been the last couple of years. I don't know what Brian Wu is going to be at the end of the season. He is going beyond, well beyond what he has ever pitched in a season before. And I think you have to keep an eye on that. We don't know if Bryce Miller is going to make it back and what he is going to be when he comes back. And I only say that. We don't have any new news on that, but he has had some stops and starts before, and it would come to reason that if he feels it again this time out, if he is not able to adjust to what he is pitching with that bone spur in his elbow, it's not going to work at this point. So for me, I think it is important, and I'm not even bringing up the possibility of something happens to somebody, and your number 5 spot has been very up and down the entire season. I do think you need a solid arm in that rotation. I'm not talking about a 1, 2, or even a 3. But, you know, you think a few years ago when they went back and they got Anderson, I'm thinking about that kind of presence that is going to go out there and give you 6 innings and give you a little bit of stability. And should something happen, if things go right, perhaps it's going to be able to help you beyond that as well. So where they're at right now, I'm not exactly sure. It has been a strange year for the rotation with everything that they've been through with the injuries, and then just also having Brian Wu be somewhere where he hasn't been before.
Shannon, for those who may not know, you are not with the team this weekend. You are about as far away from Anaheim, California as you can get over there in Cooperstown, New York. But you're there for Ichiro's Hall of Fame induction. What's it been like so far, your first couple of days in Cooperstown, and just, you know, the celebration of baseball that is this weekend?
Well, I'm not actually there. I'm literally like 15 miles out of Cooperstown on the side of the road right now.
Much closer than us.
Yeah.
Much closer than you and much closer to Cooperstown than Anaheim. But I can tell you that they are expecting huge, huge crowds with Ichiro, with Stacy Sabathia going in. This is going to be a big weekend. I just ran into somebody who worked for the Mariners about 15 years ago in a tiny town about 30 miles outside of Cooperstown, which was just kind of wild. And it kind of gives you the feeling that you are going to see people, you know, from all across the game and including the Mariners and whatnot. Like, people are coming in to see this. This is a very special moment for Ichiro, and I'm very interested to see just what the Japanese presence is for this and what he means to them. And then so interested to see Ichiro. We will talk to him tomorrow morning. I talked to him on Tuesday, which I just think was absolutely wild, that on Tuesday, I believe he was there Wednesday as well. Everything is normal. Came in and did his normal routines in the ballpark under the Countdown to Cooperstown banner. And I wrote a little bit about that and wrote about what we talked about. But this, obviously, he arrived this morning. I know he went on a museum tour. And I think it's the first time he's been to the museum since, well, I guess he came right after being notified that he was being inducted. But it's a very special place for him. He's had the utmost reverence for the history of the game and the Hall of Fame itself, and probably made more visits to the Hall of Fame than any living ball player has. So, you know, on top of everything else, there's that. pioneer in the game, first Japanese infielder, first Japanese position player to come to the U.S., and he came successfully, Rookie of the Year, MVP his first year, the hits records, everything. A very storied career that has just been followed scrupulously by the Japanese media, and it's no wonder. He is still a huge hero in Japan, and it's hard to believe that we see him just about every day at home. So really looking forward to what is coming up on that. I've got the piece about talking to him just 2 days ago up on SeattleSports.com right now. I also kind of talked around a video that I posted from his retirement in Japan, and it was one of the most epic scenes that I've ever seen on a field involving just one player, his goodbye, his final farewell. We kind of remade that, posted that. That's up as well, and we'll have some more things from Cooperstown, as well as in a week heading into the number retirement ceremony as well.
I got a really quick one, but something that you said just made me think of it, so we do want to let you go in just a second. But because you were there and you were able to see the team and see Ichiro's impact with the club, I think that everyone loves Ichiro because he's one of the greatest players we've seen, but it's also because that appreciation feels so reciprocal, and it feels, he appreciates the team and is around the team so much. What has it meant for these players to, whether you come up with the club or you're traded here? I mean, he's one of the people you see when you're out there.
I think it's different with all of them, and it's really strange because you have Edgar Martinez as your batting coach. You see Ken Griffey Jr. quite a bit. They are surrounded by some of the all-time greats, not just the greats now, but the all-time greats in the game. And I think it's different for different players, and it's not just the Mariners. You see it from opposing players as well. There are players who will come here who want to meet Ichiro, and there are some that are shy about it and some who aren't. It's like, you were my hero growing up. And they will try and set things up, and others are just, hold them in such reverence, they still won't do that. And so it's just, we saw Christian Yelich walk across the field on Tuesday to see Ichiro, and they, of course, were teammates in Miami. And at that point of Ichiro's career, that is when he firmly was focused on, I want to be here in Miami to help these young players. And they very much gravitated towards him and took in everything that he was willing to teach. And we remember hearing about the other side from Dee Gordon when he came over to the Mariners. He was one of those players. And so for the Mariners that are on the team right now, Julio is somebody that has talked to him quite a bit. And, others, it's really interesting that when you do see Ichiro having a conversation with a player, and this goes back, years. I remember I saw several rehabbing players have long conversations with Ichiro out on the field during the pandemic years when the team was on the road and they were going through their rehab, and Ichiro was helping, either catching their bullpens, which he got full catching gear to do, or running with them or playing catch with them. They would usually have a long talk, sometimes sitting on the grass in the outfield, other times standing. And I always wondered what those conversations were about. And to a man, when I talked to them, one of the first things they always said was, well, it wasn't really about baseball. It was more about life. And Ichiro has learned a lot of lessons. And for him, it's very important to share all that and to be available for all of that. He's not going to be preachy to anybody. He's not going to approach anybody and tell them what to do. But he is there and available when anybody has any questions, be it on baseball, be it on life, be it on just having been a fan and wanted to know, how did this happen or what did that feel like? And it's been just a fun story to watch, really, since the day he retired and came back to the team and continued to get dressed every day for the home games, go through his stretches, and be out there during batting practice.
Shannon's got a front row seat. You can read her coverage on SeattleSports.com. Shannon, thanks. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Shannon.
You got it, guys.
See ya. All right, let's get to a quick 4-down territory.
This is 4-down territory, going inside the game with former Seahawks and Coug wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
All right, Stacy, which new NFL friendship do you hate that you're kind of rooting for?
I love new friendships.
Make new friends.
I'm such a sucker
be
for just randomly finding out, two people get along. I'm like, oh my God, I love that. And unfortunately, for some people, they're not going to love this one. Aaron Rodgers, not especially popular. DK Metcalf, a lot of people love, and some people don't. But that's the relationship I'm talking about. I read this really cool column. It's through the Steelers site, and it was about Mike Tomlin, who's an old school coach doing an old school approach to bonding, which is making teammates literally dorm together.
Wow.
And the plan is you got to be uncomfortable. You're sharing a space. You guys are millionaires that are used to getting your way, and now you have to not only share this cramped area, but including one bathroom. How are you going to communicate with each other? And that's exactly what Aaron Rodgers and DK Metcalf are doing. One of the little nuggets from the story that I thought was especially funny is that apparently the flush on the toilet is really, really loud. So they've both agreed, DK Metcalf and Aaron Rodgers, two millionaires, have agreed that, we're only going to flush the toilet when we're awake, because otherwise it'll wake you up. And there's one piece of the story where DK Metcalf texts Aaron Rodgers, presumably from the bathroom, at 9:30, being like, you up? Are you awake? Aaron says he is. He's like, okay, bet. I'm going to flush this toilet. It's just such a weird, funny, quirky story from camp, and these are the stories that I really like consuming in a very low stakes July, August. And so I found myself kind of rooting for them a little bit.
That really is camp. That is like summer camp. Second down. All right, so give us a friendship instead that's a bit easier to love.
All right, I know not every Seahawks fan is a fan of Aaron Rodgers, but many of you are fans of your own quarterbacks, and I am loving hearing about the relationship that these quarterbacks have together. Earlier in the show, Curtis and I talked about how this is probably the deepest quarterback room that they've had. Do they have right now proven top-tier talent that Russell Wilson was at his peak? No, but I think if you're not going to have a really, really elite passer, what you want to have is a lot of complementary pieces, guys where if Drew needs to start a game, you're feeling like, all right, good. Drew's looking pretty good. And ideally, Sam can do that, but they seem to have a great relationship with each other. Yesterday, we're going to go to cut 20. Sam Darnold was asked, hey, Drew had really good things to say about you. You guys have an existing friendship before this year. What's it like to have him as a teammate? Take a listen.
That's nice you said that. No, I mean, Drew's the best. I think, just when the season comes around, you need the guys in the quarterback room to just support one another, whether it's me supporting other guys or them supporting me. It's full circle, and it works all the way around. So that's kind of the mindset we have in the quarterback room, and we're just going to keep that rolling all the way until February.
So, again, I think that if you are going to look at something with kind of a new lens at camp, I think one of the things you can appreciate about the Seahawks team is, wow, they really do have a really solid group. All of them had a wonderful Thursday at camp. It was Jalen Milroe's best day, I thought, of the offseason so far, of the practices we've seen. He looks fantastic. So I just kind of was highlighting that as another relationship that might be a bit easier to stomach for Seahawks fans.
Third down. All right, Stacy, NFL legend J.J. Watt made a great point about training camp on Twitter the other day. What did he say?
J.J. said, stop with training camp stats. They don't matter. They're not important. They're not real. They do not tell any
numbers
story.
Numbers never lie, except in this case.
Except in this case where they're all a lie. It was a great point. He posted it to Twitter, and he said, practice is for practicing. You're supposed to fail. You're supposed to try new things, see what works and what doesn't work. He talked about, in certain situations, if you don't know what's going on and you think it's just a scrimmage, you're going to be like, oh, my God, that's a sack, or oh, my God, they're moving so slow. And you don't realize that in each one of these separate groups, I mean, we're looking at them right now, each of these separate groups are working on very specific things, certain drills for certain situations. Maybe you're working on not just installing parts of the playbook, but you're working on oh, this is a blitz period. This is going to be specifically for the defense's advantage, so maybe the offense isn't going to look amazing, and then vice versa. So that's why it's hard to take seriously anything. If you hear, Aaron Rodgers threw a touchdown and an interception, or Aaron Rodgers threw 4 interceptions, that means nothing.
Fourth down. Your numbers mean nothing to me.
Your numbers lie.
Fourth down. What stood out from our earlier conversation today with Hawkblogger's Brian Nemhauser?
I'll be quick with this one because we've got to keep it moving a little bit. But there was a lot to love from the conversation. Our podcast will be up at 3 p.m., so you can go back and listen to it. It'll kick off hour 2. Brian is a little bullish on the offensive line. Not on them being like a top unit in the league, but on them having some potential to take a real step forward. And he talked about observations that he had from camp, in particular from the coaching staff. Talked about seeing Gray Zabel and having a ton of experience covering Gray Zabel and going to the Combine and going to the Senior Bowl and seeing these practices. So really good insight there, not only into the individual pieces that they're going to have, but into the work they've been doing so far. Really good stuff. Let's see what's on tonight.
What's on tonight with Bump and Stacy, brought to you by Caesars Sportsbook at Muckleshoot. Now, here's what's on tonight.
The Mariners with Josh Naylor are on tonight.
Yeah.
Brian Wu, they're taking on the Angels for Game 2. Pregame starts at 5:30 p.m. First pitch is at 6:40 p.m. on Seattle Sports. Get your questions in for What I Need to Know. 866-979-3776 coming your way in 15.
The Mariners trade for one of the biggest names available.
Making a statement with just 6 days till the trade deadline. We're all in.
Josh Naylor is now a Seattle Mariner, and they do it without giving up a top 10 prospect. You get a player that fits in almost every way. I love that they got out there and beat everybody to the punch.
What else do the Mariners have up their sleeve?
Is it enough? I don't know.
Stay plugged in as the Mariners approach the trade deadline with Seattle Sports.
The Grammy-nominated voice that's touched millions with songs that define love is coming to Muckleshoot Event Center. Ryan McMahon. One night, one voice, one memory that will last a lifetime. Get tickets now at muckleshootcasino.com. Ryan McMahon. Thursday, August 7th. Only at Muckleshoot Casino Resort.
Do you find yourself searching the medicine cabinet for pills and sprays during allergy season? How about having to buy one more medication when the season hits? I'm Dr. Ryan Stern with the Stern Sinus Center. We offer a solution that will save you time, money, and frustration. Rhine Air is a simple, minimally invasive procedure that significantly reduces postnasal drip and stuffiness. We're taking new patients in Federal Way and in Auburn. Come see us. Book your appointment at sternsinus.com.
Upgrade your view and comfort with Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Buy one window or door, get the second at 50% off through July, and enjoy 12 months same as cash financing. For details, visit lakewashingtonwindows.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit revivemenshealth.com.
We at Three Tree Roofing understand that your home is your castle. That's why our certified technicians use state-of-the-art installation methods to deliver the highest warranties available. Check out our hundreds of online reviews and schedule a free estimate to see for yourself. Three Tree Roofing, your Puget Sound roofing experts.
If you want that summer body you've always dreamed of, then this message is for you, ladies, and you men too. Get rid of extra stubborn fat and address areas of loose skin around the waistline, chin, and under the upper arms with ProSculpt, the new one-day instant permanent fat removal and skin tightening treatment. Maybe you've tried the lasers, fat freezing methods, even those new pills, but without the desired results. ProSculpt is different. It's minimally invasive, performed while fully awake, gentle, yet powerful. Designed to target the waistline, chin, neck, arms, and thighs, ProSculpt uses FDA-cleared plasma technology to deliver immediate, permanent fat-reducing and skin-tightening results, all in just one visit. If you want that summer body this summer, then you must act now. Go to ProSculpt.com today to schedule your free consultation. Get $250 off. For instant, permanent fat reduction and skin tightening, visit ProSculpt.com.
The home of the Mariners.
One hopper snared at short. On a quick hop by J.P. Crawford. That guy's a magician over there at shortstop.
Seattle Sports.
Download the Seattle Sports app.
10-time MLB All-Star, 10-time Gold Glove Award winner, MLB single-season hit leader, a one-of-a-kind player.
And there it is! He's a new all-time hit king in Major League history, number 258.
Head to T-Mobile Park in August as the Mariners celebrate Ichiro's induction into the National Baseball Hall of Fame. The festivities kick off with a 3-day Ichiro Hall of Fame Funko Pop giveaway, Tuesday, August 5th through Thursday, August 7th. On Friday, August 8th, arrive early to score a 2004 Ichiro jersey like the one he wore when he broke the MLB single-season hit record. Saturday, August 9th will feature Ichiro's pregame number retirement ceremony, and the first 20,000 fans on Sunday the 10th will take home a replica of his Cooperstown plaque. It's going to be legendary.
On a tremendous throw by Ichiro. He threw something out of Star Wars.
Get your tickets at mariners.com/Ichiro.
Dave Wyman here for Harley Exteriors. When you hear Harley Exteriors, I want you to think windows manufactured right here in Washington and specifically designed for our Pacific Northwest homes and climate. These are the windows you want. They look absolutely stunning, much better than a traditional vinyl window, and they're going to lower your energy bills and provide year-round comfort. They also come with a double lifetime, fully transferable warranty, meaning not only are you covered for glass breaking or damaged seals, it's going to help your resale and home value. These windows last up to 60 years. Harley Exteriors is making these windows affordable with options like 0 payments and 0 interest up to 12 months for qualified buyers. In July, Harley Exteriors is offering 50% off basic installation, no payments, no interest for 12 months, and an additional $200 off your project. Think Harley Exteriors for windows, doors, and more right here in the Puget Sound. Call 833-HARLEY or just go to harleyexteriors.com.
This hour is brought to you by Mazda of Everett.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Dave broke the power stance.
He did. Yeah, he had his hands on his hips. Looked like he was about to go coach up the defense.
I think Dave was about to run out there on the field.
I think so, too.
He was going to be like, give me the green dot.
Yeah, like, hey, give me the headset, Mike. Mike McDonald. I can coach these guys up. That's exactly what Dave was about to do right there.
We were hoping to just spend the next 10 minutes just describing Bob and Dave watching Seahawks practice.
They're talking with a lot of hand gestures and a lot of, like,
hands on the hips.
Yeah.
I just wonder what it would be like to be like, you're just a big dude, and you're like, I could get out there.
Yeah,
I think I could. I think I could get out there. Oh, man. I'm excited to hear what they got.
Oh, yeah.
I know that they've got an interview a little bit later. Maybe Zach Charbonnet. I'm not entirely sure.
I think, yeah, Zach Charbonnet is scheduled to join Wyman and Bob this afternoon. It'll be around 3 o'clock.
All right. What I need to know coming your way in 15. You have time to get those questions in. Any question, I'm assuming a lot of them are going to be about camp or the Mariners, but you can send anything in. 866-979-3776. Curtis, we do have a lovely view of Seahawks training camp. Guys just going through drills right now, so we wanted to get back to the Mariners, who made a massive move ahead of the deadline, acquiring Josh Naylor, one of the top bats available. A lot of fallout questions from this. Where's Naylor going to be in the lineup? How does he boost your offense? Are you done adding? And then there's, well, what's next? Which is the second half of this segment. Spend a couple minutes first, just, again, rehashing everything we've learned about Naylor today. We talked to a couple experts.
Yeah, we did. Matt Underwood, Cleveland Guardians broadcaster. We talked to him in the first hour. That's where you can find that when you download the podcast after the show today. Shannon, we talked to her leading off this hour. I think the thing that we learned about him, it was interesting hearing from Matt Underwood how quiet and reserved Josh Naylor is, like off the field, considering some of the clips that we have seen from him over the years, where that man plays with an intensity
I dig it, man.
Unmatched across Major League Baseball. There were a lot of people joking last night, like, I hate to see what he would do with the trident in his hands. Like, does the trident just get spiked into the ground?
I think he spears something.
Yeah.
I think either he snaps it over his leg, which, like, please don't, but, like,
right.
I think he might. I think everyone needs to kind of clear out.
Yeah,
he's
just give him the
space.
But yeah, I think that was an interesting thing to me, because I just thought that he was just a crazy intense dude all the time. Like that switch never got turned off. But no, it turns out like this is a guy that outside of the lines is pretty much, just kind of a quiet, chill dude who just keeps to himself.
Look, I tried to poke holes in his game because I just kind of like knowing the full picture of like any addition and kind of what you can expect from someone. And when we asked Matt, hey, what's the knock? Like, what was the knock on him? He was like, I'm going to be really honest with you guys. We love him. We love him.
Yeah.
We could not find a knock.
Solid
I know that
dude,
some Arizona folks have at times said like, maybe not the best defense, but I don't know that I need a Gold Glover at first.
Right.
It's a plus. It's a perk, but I just love to add some thump to the lineup, get that slugging up. You're going to need it in the postseason. Curtis, another thing that you're absolutely going to need in the postseason is a healthy pitching staff.
Yes.
When I saw the Yankees acquiring Ryan McMahon, very naturally wondered, is the next move Geno? And then I started thinking, I'd love to add Geno. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to be elated if that happens. But I'm getting a little, not nervous. My ears are perking up with the number of experts we've had on, Shannon, Drayer, Ryan Rowland-Smith, who know this team well, are around this team regularly, and seem quite concerned about the health of the pitching staff and think, like, you need to add. You must add.
I think the one starter that doesn't have, like, a big question mark hanging over his head right now, and it's – I mean, Brian Wu has had the best season of any starting pitcher you've had. But Shannon brought up a really good point. He's going to exceed his previous innings high by a large amount this season, especially because he has yet to go below 6 innings in any start. It feels like Luis Castillo is the guy with the least amount of questions right now, where it's just like, it's Luis Castillo. You know what you're getting with him. And with that, you do kind of wonder, like, is the depth of this rotation going to hold up over the course of the rest of the regular season?
Instead of us wondering, like, would you genuinely be concerned if they left the trade deadline without adding a starter? And I'm talking to you can use this guy 1 through 5.
I think I would be, because I am not banking on Bryce Miller being Bryce Miller when he returns. I don't even know if he's going to return. We heard Shannon say today with us, like, there really isn't any new news on that. He was supposed to throw a bullpen session, I believe, today, but have not heard any sort of further confirmation on that. So banking on Bryce Miller coming back, I don't think is the responsible thing for this Mariners team to do. So in that instance, how do you help yourself out? Well, yeah, I think starting pitching is definitely a route that you kind of need to take and need to examine here over the course of the next 6 days. And it doesn't have to be an ace. It doesn't have to be a guy who is just, on the track for a Cy Young or anything like that. But I look at, like, the White Sox, Adrian Hauser, a guy who pitched really well against the Mariners in his first start after getting acquired earlier in the season. His ERA since joining the White Sox back in, May or something, is like less than 2. Like maybe that's a name you go out and get. I also wonder, like, you look at the players that the Mariners could be trading from. How about this? The guy who is probably playing the best of any prospect in your system right now is kind of one of those forgotten prospects. Tyler Locklear in AAA right now. 9 for his last 9. 4 home runs in those 9 hits.
So in this case, dealing a very hot major league ready prospect.
Yeah,
like you could play him now.
Right, Locklear has very little to prove in the minor leagues anymore, but he
has already played with Seattle's big league squad.
His power is undeniable. Like that guy can hit a home run out of any ballpark. So I'm wondering if you look at that performance right now, and teams are kind of like, well, oh boy, he's 24 years old, can hit the ball a country mile. The swing and miss might not be there so much to a team's liking at this point, but that's definitely a name right now to keep an eye on in any sort of trade, especially if you're looking to deal guys outside of your top 10 prospects.
All right, get your questions in for What I Need to Know, 866-979-3776. Our coverage of Seahawks training camp brought to you by The Landing in Renton.
Now batting for the Mariners, first baseman Josh Naylor.
The first contender to make the big move that says, we're all in.
Well, look at the Mariners striking first. How about that?
They did exactly what they needed to do at the deadline.
They do it without giving up a top 10 prospect.
It just kind of felt like, this is the right fit.
You're now looking at a 1 through 6 in your lineup that's deep. It's legitimate.
We're all over baseball's trade deadline on the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports.
Hey friends, Stacy here to tell you that Wayscar Ford Isuzu in Auburn is celebrating its 130-year anniversary, and their biggest sales event of the year is going on right now. Take advantage of their great pricing on new Fords, Isuzus, and commercial vehicles, plus huge discounts on service and parts. What about those of you who want to sell a car? Good news. Wayscar Ford's vehicle profit-sharing plan is the best deal out there. They purchase your car and pay you up front, but then when they resell your old car, they share 50% of their profit with you. They've already paid back over $800,000 to customers. At Wayscar Ford, there are absolutely no games, no gimmicks, and no pressure. That's backed up by a full 5-day or 500-mile, no questions asked return policy on absolutely every car they sell. Change your mind for any reason. Bring the vehicle back for a full 100% refund. So if you're like me, you want a good price, a low-key, no-pressure experience, and a full 5-day, 100% satisfaction guarantee, go to Wayscar Ford in Auburn. Check them out for yourself at wayscarford.com.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Why'd I go to the doctor? One day at the firehouse, I was so lightheaded I could barely stand. Even my crew noticed. Getting checked out was the right call. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit NoTimeToWait.com, sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
All right, Takis fans. Wendy's knows you love your Takis Fuego chips. So we thought, why not make a Takis Fuego meal with a Takis Fuego chicken sandwich with spicy chicken topped with crushed Takis Fuego chips and creamy corn spread. Plus, it comes with Fuego fries inspired by Takis and a bag of Takis Fuego chips. If we had any more heat, we might start an actual... I told him this would happen. For an intense new take on Takis chips, gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. Includes 1 ounce Takis Fuego chips while supplies last. Takis and Fuego trademarks are used under license.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-486-9600. That's 800-486-9600.
Seattle Sports is giving you a shot at 4 tickets to see the Seahawks host the Raiders August 7th. Just open the Seattle Sports app, tap the Win tab in the bottom right corner, and enter. You can enter once per day, so the more you enter, the better your chances. Enter daily from July 23rd through 28th. Full details and rules at seattlesports.com/win. Only from the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports. The home of the Mariners.
It is gone! Cal Raleigh, 2-run home run!
Hear every pitch on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Are you frustrated with those trendy weight loss shots and not getting the long-term results you really want? This is Dr. Ryan Coogan with Eastside Weight Loss, and whether you've hit a plateau, can't handle the side effects, or watch the pounds creep back after stopping, there's a better way. Our program has helped over 4,000 people lose up to 10 to 20% of their body weight in just 8 weeks without expensive injections or uncomfortable side effects. Our doctor-developed program costs up to half as much and works up to twice as fast. Ready for real lasting results? Visit eastsideweightlossclinic.com now to schedule your free consultation.
Did he just say Eastside Weight Loss Clinic is half the cost and works twice as fast as weight loss injections? Well, if that's not reason enough, you don't risk the scary side effects or gaining the weight back as soon as you stop. Eastside Weight Loss Clinic is natural, and it works.
Many clients lose 20 to 30 pounds in a month or two, and you can do our program remotely from anywhere you live. Schedule your free consultation at eastsideweightlossclinic.com. That's eastsideweightlossclinic.com.
Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
Free consultations, no fee guarantees, 5-star reviews. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains the importance of going beyond these familiar offerings.
Accident victims want an attorney, Tom, that satisfies their needs. Someone who handles those needs with the highest degree of care. Pendergast Law offers the no-fee guarantees and free consultations, but these only scratch the surface.
Okay, explain more.
We make sure that every member of our team is genuinely passionate about helping others. Customer service and communication are our top priority. It's how we take care of our clients so they always feel one step ahead of the insurance companies. Our strong reputation for high standards provides comfort and confidence when it's needed most.
Pendergast Law offers the free consultations, the no-fee guarantees, and, of course, they are 5-star rated. But what really makes them different is their genuine passion for helping others. I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
That's PendergastLaw.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
All right, we are live at Virginia Mason Athletic Center. Seahawks practice underway for day 3 of training camp. It's time for What I Need to Know. Get your questions in. 866-979-3776. Curtis Rogers in for Michael Bumpus. First question.
Hey.
Has the Evans-Hancock duo been so bad that it warrants looking for a number 5 type guy? I really like Evans' stuff, and I think he suffered from facing a few really good lineups, says the 253.
They haven't been, awful by any stretch of the imagination. They've definitely been passable, but, they don't elevate your ceiling. Whereas I think a much more stable, proven guy in that number 5 spot could definitely help you out down the stretch, maybe a little bit more than 2 guys who have never pitched in games of that kind of magnitude before. But no, Evans has not been bad. Hancock has not been awful. I mean, he's definitely had a few starts where it's yikes. Yeah. But for the most part, I mean, those guys have been plenty serviceable. But ultimately, I don't have the trust in them to give you 5, 6, 7 innings in September the way I would, say, a guy who has been around the block, quite a bit.
Yeah. What I need to know, did you hear the Brock and Salk segment about quarterbacks with the most aura? They said Joe Flacco's been around long enough to become cool again and it had real get off my lawn energy, or maybe he has real get off my lawn energy. I was going to ask Bump, but seeing as how he's gone, I'll refer to you. Can you confirm or deny? So Joe Flacco has been around long enough to become cool again and has get off my lawn energy.
I don't think he's that cool.
I don't know that he's cool, but I'll say Joe Flacco has been around long enough that you have both established you can play in the league. You won a Super Bowl, but also have had the bar lowered given your age, that his run of a couple games there with the Browns was actually really cool.
That was cool.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if there are no expectations anymore, and it's rare for a guy to go from you were the quarterback of a Super Bowl team and there was this constant debate about, is he good enough? Does he deserve this contract? And for a minute, he was kind of under fire, and then now it's like, you can kind of do nothing wrong.
Bump just texted us.
Yeah, what'd he say?
He says, being cool and having get off my lawn energy are two different things. I would say, yeah, when you are telling people to get off your lawn, you are sacrificing all cool points in that moment.
That's very true.
To get your point across.
That's very true.
He would be the expert. It is his segment.
I don't know that he has get off my lawn energy, though. And really, I'm shocked that Brock and Salk know what aura means.
Well, they've got Lyle there.
Oh, okay.
Lyle is the Gen Z representative of the station. I think what it is Joe Flacco has definitely, I think he's just kind of like, I'm too old for this.
Yeah,
That's what it is. I don't think it's get off my lawn. It's like, I am too old to be bothered by TikTok. I'm too old to be bothered by social media. Like, I'm just here to play football. And
I respect it.
And then I'm going to go home and raise my kids. Like, my favorite clip of Joe Flacco ever, and as a dad to two kids who are 4 and under, him kind of nodding off on the sideline during a game. I get it, man.
Yeah.
You were trying to find those moments of just kind of like, can I sneak a nap in here? Nope, I can't. Okay.
The 253 who texted the question said, bump from 3. Okay. 866-979-3776. What I need to know. This person just said, your number 5 starter doesn't have to be lights out.
True.
Yeah.
But we're not asking for 10 strikeouts a game out of your number 5 starter. I'm just asking for a number 5 guy to get you 6 innings to help out your bullpen, and somebody you just don't. You're not holding your breath and plugging your ears when they're out there on the mound in late September.
Do you think the Mariners have wanted to showcase Evans over Hancock because they like Hancock more and would ideally prefer to trade Evans since he doesn't have the 95-plus heat?
Who's to say? I think Logan Evans could definitely find himself in a trade if the right package presents itself. Sure. Same for Emerson Hancock. Just because those guys are very important to your rotation depth right now. If trading one of those guys lands you somebody that is going to be of impact, then I say do it, and maybe you can go out and get another veteran starting pitcher. I just know that the young, controllable pitchers, that's the Mariners value the most, and I don't know if they're going to sacrifice club control on both of them or one of them in order to go out and get somebody. But I would be all for potentially moving one of them if it could get you somebody better than maybe what you've been looking at.
Someone said, why do Brock and Salk hate Lyle? They do give poor Lyle a hard time. They give him a hard time.
It's not just a generation gap. It's like a 2-generation gap because they're Gen X. So Brock and Salk's whole thing used to be railing against millennials. And then millennials became
old and washed.
Yeah, exactly. And so now they're like, wow, who's this Gen Z kid coming through here? So it's not just one generation they're having issues with. It's now 2.
How many words does Lyle use per day that you think they don't understand?
Oh, man. I would love to see a show email from Lyle to those guys, and then Salk leaning over to his daughters and be like, what does that say?
Figure this out for me.
Can you?
Do you feel like, this is our next question for the 425 football one here. Do you feel like Matthew Stafford is going to take a big dip this year? He didn't look amazing last year. The Hawks are going to get him this year. Sounded like me over here. Bump was giving me a hard time a few weeks ago for being like, Matthew Stafford's going to fall off a cliff. And I think that Matthew Stafford has been so good, but in my memory, Bump disproved me, but in my memory, he had been injured more than he really was, and had missed more time. So I felt like, I just go back to Benjamin Solak when he joined us, and at the time we were talking about Geno and whether or not you should invest. This was prior to Geno being traded, and he was like, look, it's not weird for quarterbacks to have careers that do extend a little further. It's certainly not weird for a quarterback to have a resurgence with his career into his late 20s or 30s, but there is kind of a cliff in the NFL with age. It's not always this gradual kind of, it's sometimes where did it go?
And I feel like quarterbacks hit that cliff harder than just about anybody because
because the team's so dependent on you.
Right, and quarterbacks also have the longest window of playing time of any position. Like, if you're a competent quarterback, you're going to have at least a 4 or 5 year career in the NFL. But, like, the ones that are able to stretch it, 15, 16 years the way that Stafford has, because I think he was, class of 09? I graduated high school class of 09, and I'm washed right now. So, like, those guys, they are good for so long, but then in the case of, like, Aaron Rodgers, and we've seen it with Peyton Manning, like, they just don't have it so fast. And it's like, man, like, it's impressive just how long and how good they were. Stafford's case, the same, and it's like, I think it's coming. I think it's coming where Stafford does see a drop-off in production. I don't know if it's this year. It's probably within the next year or two. And the Rams really don't have anything in place beyond Stafford at this moment.
Curtis.
It's Garoppolo, huh?
Listen to this. Stacy and Curtis, wow, saw Curtis's picture/video yesterday for the first time. You look so different than I imagined.
Really?
Full beard, and he says macho. Did not expect that.
Yeah.
I think I imagined you looking more like, have you seen the text?
No.
Guess which celebrity he imagined you looking like. I'll say a celebrity athlete.
Celebrity athlete?
Yeah.
Michael Phelps.
David Beckham.
Wow. Maybe the most handsome of all time. I'll take that. Yeah, David Beckham and we get confused for each other a lot. No, I've never been confused for David Beckham. Maybe it's the voice, but yeah. Wow.
We're gonna get out of here.
I appreciate that.
Curtis needs
That's
to
a heck of a
come
way to
down
end the
from
week.
The sky
Man.
right now, and we're gonna go take some
I'm gonna
notes
go tell my
from
wife.
Seahawks practice.
Happy birthday, by the way, Brenna.
Happy birthday, Brenna. Wyman and Bob joining you next.
Now batting for the Mariners, first baseman Josh Naylor.
The first contender to make the big move that says, we're all in.
Well, look at the Mariners striking first. How about that?
They did exactly what they needed to do at the deadline.
They do it without giving up a top 10 prospect.
It just kind of felt like, this is the right fit.
You're now looking at a 1 through 6 in your lineup that's deep. It's legitimate.
We're all over baseball's trade deadline on the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports.
Hey, Brock Ewart here with some great news. I'm with Shannon O'Kelly, physical therapist and owner of IRG Physical and Hand Therapy. Shannon, you guys just increased your community coverage.
That's right, Brock. We like to say we're in your neighborhood. We have you covered here at IRG. We just added 2 fantastic locations. One is in Harbor Square in the Edmonds Bowl, and the other one is in the Mill Creek Town Center, right to the entrance to Mill Creek Town Center. So we'll be able to provide fantastic care to all of us and everybody's neighborhood.
You know I love it. Expert physical and hand therapy right in your neighborhood.
That's right. We're in your neighborhood. We want to be your neighborhood family physical therapist. We'll take care of you, your family, and your neighbor.
And remember, no referral needed. Just personalized care when and where you need it. Visit IRGPT.com and schedule your appointment today. With over 40 convenient locations, IRG is right in your neighborhood, and now 2 new spots as well. That's IRGPT.com, IRGPT.com.
What's the biggest mistake you can make when selling your home? Settling for less money. That never happens with Orchard. Disappointing offers can wear you down, causing you to settle for thousands less. You don't have to settle when you sell with Orchard. Orchard reinvented the real estate industry by guaranteeing your home sale and helping you sell on the market for top dollar. First, Orchard gives you cash up front so you can buy and move into your new home first, on your timeline. No waiting, no showings, no double moves. Then once you're all settled in, your Orchard agent helps sell your home on market for top dollar. Here's what one Orchard customer said. I never could have sold without Orchard. I made way more than I expected, and it couldn't have been easier. With Orchard, you never have to settle for less. Buy before you sell and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Curious how much your home is worth? Visit Orchard.com to get your free home valuation. That's Orchard.com. Orchard.com.
A couple years ago, I was in the bathroom at the airport when I dropped my smartphone in the toilet. Not smart. I was multitasking when I should have been focused on the job at hand. Embarrassing, but I'm not alone. According to Google, 7 million other multitaskers accidentally dropped their phones into the bowl last year. A gentle reminder that right now you can get yourself a brand new Samsung Galaxy A36 absolutely free with a $35 plan from Pure Talk. The A36 comes with scratch-resistant Gorilla Glass and a battery that'll last all day, along with unlimited talk, text, and data on America's most dependable 5G network. In other words, it's tough and smart. Something to think about next time you're multitasking in the necessary. Just dial pound 250, say keyword micro to get your free phone today. You can make the switch in just 10 minutes. That's pound 250. Say micro to switch to a no-nonsense smartphone and a company that actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
Progressive's Teen Driver discount could lower the cost of insurance for your teenager and save you some money. And then you can still spend money on them. Because just when you think you have a grasp on spending, new sneakers. And then it's money for a school field trip. And of course, spending money. Oh yeah, and a new phone to replace the one they dropped in the toilet. Oh, don't remind me. So just get Progressive's Teen Driver discount. And then you can continue to spend money on them. Endlessly. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Discount not available in all states and subject to terms and conditions.
Lowe's knows big savings make a big difference, especially when you're shopping for appliances. Hurry in to get up to 30% off select major appliances. Plus, My Lowe's Rewards members get free delivery, free haul away, free installation and parts on purchases of $2,500 or more. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 7/30. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Price, delivery time, and vehicle availability may vary based on order size and location. Exclusions apply. See Lowe's.com/delivery for more details.
Why'd I go to the doctor? One day at the firehouse, I was so lightheaded I could barely stand. Even my crew noticed. Getting checked out was the right call. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit NoTimeToWait.com, sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Lowe's knows big savings make a big difference, especially when you're shopping for appliances. Hurry in to get up to 30% off select major appliances. Plus, My Lowe's Rewards members get free delivery, free haul away, free installation and parts on purchases of $2,500 or more. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 7/30. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Price